best rough water ride ever. And I'm like, come on, man. We're gonna jump right into it. We're talking about Allison boats for a little bit before we get into it.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, guys? So
I know Scott Dice said that they were really good in rough water one night when we were talking about them.
So I have
my buddy Mike Powers. Well, I mean, he drew a guy with one on the Potomac one year, and he said they speared like 6 waves coming across.
Yeah. The thing of it is with those kind of boats, whether it's
I mean, it was like 4-footer, legit like 4-footers, but
whether it's an Allison or a Bullet or a Stroker or any type of boat that's like a high performance. I mean, the thing of it is the higher the performance capability, the more responsive that boat is to the driver. So if you are not driving it the right way in those conditions, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, Frank?
I would say in that literally any bass boat that you're in, like any bass boat, is 80% driver when it comes to rough water.
Yeah, no, I would agree. So, but while we get some
perfect example before you go on, I have drawn 3 people that have nitros during rough water, and 2 of them, it was the absolute worst experience that I have ever had in my life on a bass boat. And then I didn't draw him, but for one of the last chance tournaments that got canceled, me and Jedry went out, and it was canceled because of wind, and we went out of Joppatown, and we were messing around in the
What's up, Murph? Thanks for joining, brother.
We decided, let's, maybe we can go over here, and it would be out of the wind. It was when the grass bed was over by APG, so we were gonna go over there, and it was gnarly out there, and like John's driving ability was just good enough. Like we never hit a wave hard.
Mm-hmm.
And same nitro. Like I've been in I was in a Z21 and 2 Z20s, and John's Z20. I mean, no.
It's a wide boat. It's a big boat too.
Had no issues. The other Z20, my partner for the TBF this year, I drew this guy on day 1, and on day 2, Dwayne drew him, and I was pulling Fabian's truck to the boat ramp to pull out, and I see Dwayne walking up, and I was like, "Hey, Dwayne, how was that boat ride?" And he looks back and goes, "I'll never fish one of these effing things as a co-angler ever effing again."
Damn, that's pretty bad.
Like that's how bad the boat ride, and because of the driver. I mean, it was literally all because of the driver.
I don't like the only boat ride that I've ever been in and I've been in a few, not just one. The only boat brand that I've ever been in that I just don't like the ride, period, is Triton. I don't like the ride, period. Because, and Murphy's watching, and Murphy had one, and Murphy, I love fishing with you. Did not like the way that any Triton I've ever been in rides.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been in a Triton. I think it's probably the only brand I've never actually ridden in.
I've been in a few of them, and like what irritates me about Triton is it's like it's not a jack of all trades. It's like it tries to be a jack of all trades, and it's a master of none.
New ones or old ones?
Most of mine were old ones, to be fair. Most of mine were
the
old
ones. Were fast.
Yes, but they weren't that fast. They were fast.
They were 80
weren't,
mile an hour boats.
Yeah, but they weren't. But I feel like for the ride that you got, you should have gotten more top end speed out of it, because like I can tell you, Murphy's boat chine walked like crazy.
They do chine walk.
It chine walk very bad, and my Bullet could walk that thing, and I was going 10 miles an hour faster with the 225.
He says that the chine walk really keeps you on your toes.
And Murph, I love you to death, and I hope you're having a great time at the outdoor show. I am not trying to shit talk your boat, buddy, because I enjoyed fishing on it with you.
Frank says come up to Erie if you want to deal with big waves. I do. I enjoy fishing in Ontario, so I know a bit about fishing in big waves.
What are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we have a couple topics, so we're gonna hit on a few things. So for those of you that haven't heard yet, and it's kind of been posted by a number of people today, Charger bass boats is no more.
No,
they're done.
No, they're no longer making.
They're no longer making boats. So they're in a similar situation as like kind of similar to Gambler, whereas they're no longer making boats. Somebody has to buy them out.
Did you watch that video to the end?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's probably a very good chance that within the next year they'll be making boats again. from what Andy
I did see that. And I'm not going to restate anything.
So are they basically just like going bankrupt and they have to get their shit together?
No,
not at all.
It's actually not at all that, which is really interesting. Yeah.
So the owner died a couple years ago, and the thought was they've been making boats for the last couple of years that it was going to, it was just going to carry over to the guy's son, and he was just going to take over. And the owner left everything to his wife, and his wife was just like, "Yeah, I don't want to make those anymore."
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Yes. It's pretty wild, dude. It's pretty wild.
That not only came from Andy, but that came from Kelly Power, and Kelly Power has been involved.
What's up, Pete?
With that for a very long time.
A new Mercury 4.6 liter 250.
No,
I have not seen that. Is that are they selling that?
Everybody grabs their cell phone.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now.
Time.
Are they? Is that like a bass boat package, or is that because some of it's weight and like the Verado? Like you don't hardly ever see the newer Mercury Verados on bass boats. Everyone has the Pro XS. The old Verado, I thought was actually a pretty sleek looking motor. I think
the one that was
I remember when that first came out, the supercharged.
That thing was badass, dude. One of the guys in my old club, Mr. Chris, he's got one on a big Nitro Z9, and that thing just sounds mean, man. Yeah, I'm interested about that. But anyway, so the thing about the whole Charger situation, and this is kind of what, and I said this in the group chat earlier, and as we get some more folks in, I'm sure we'll get some more comments, but
send it to my personal one.
My whole thing with the Charger is the Charger was, in my opinion, was the bass boat brand that, especially once Champion was over, went both feet in terms of building the Champion hull. Now, we know that there is one company out there that is still making boats as of today that is still making a Champion hull, and that's Basscat, and it's the hybrid. It's not a true Champion.
Yeah,
it's a hybrid. It's not even so is Champion just cursed? I feel like we have to ask that question at this point because everyone, including Champion, that has made a Champion hull is no longer around.
False. White River Marine.
Okay, but they bought them out. They bought out Stratus because Stratus was doing it.
Stratus was still making Champion hulls when White River Marine owned them.
But they're still, but they're not being made now. That's my thing. Now, I would like to know how many they made personally, because John actually, I didn't even know that was a thing until we were up at JCS.
Champions.
And John told me about it. I was like, dude, that's actually pretty cool. But then he was like, yeah, they didn't really do well. They didn't sell well. Which is,
they're known as Strampions.
And there's no way to prove. Champion. There's no way. I'll be the first to tell you. There's no way to prove my point with this. But I feel like with the whole Champion hull, and I love Champion hull. I think Champion hulls are sick. Tony, what is it?
You ready to spend some more money?
No, no. Is that what he just? Whoa. What? Is that like a 15-inch lower? Is that the one that Frank just sent?
Yeah. No, that's a race motor or a race lower.
Oh my god. Okay, all right. I'm curious. So we just got. Can we put that on the screen at some point? We just got a picture of the 4.6 liter 250 that Frank sent us. What's the difference between that and the 250R? Like I'm curious.
That'd be a question for John.
Or for John or Scott or Andy if Andy joins us. Thanks for sending that, Frank. That's pretty interesting.
Or
Morgan. Yes.
I don't know why I could do
yes, dude. Yeah. So my question is here's my question.
250.
We all know that Champions are awesome boats. I love them. I fished out of yours. Seeing the ones that JCS made, they're awesome boats. If all these companies have tried to make Champion hulls, why did it not basically just propel these companies to the next level?
So I can tell you one thing. In the current bass boat market, with like and it's starting to trend away from that with like your icons, and people are more concerned about the ride. But like up until a couple of years ago, everybody was all about how fast their bass boat.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like a 210 Champion is like a low 70s boat,
which is still pretty good.
So it's just an average boat,
right?
And
nothing wrong with it.
I will say that They could have done with some layout upgrades, and Charger did change it a little bit from the Champion 210 to the Charger 210, but it was still like a mid 2000s layout on the Top Cat, like your storage and everything.
Yeah, and I respect the commitment to simplicity and familiarity, but
I mean, tons of storage. Tons of storage, dude. You could take all of the tackle out of my boat, your boat, and Chad's boat, and fit it in Frank's.
Right.
I mean, that's how much tackle you.
Have you talked to Frank about the Charger thing today? I'll be curious to hear his opinion. I really would. Just because he's the only one I know that owns one. I'm just curious as to what the thought process is. Is like,
yeah, I only know 2 people.
If you're a Charger owner and you hear that Charger's no longer making boats, now I did hear they're still honoring warranties. Yeah. But if you're a Charger owner and now we know Charger's no longer making boats, are you like the Evinrude guys were in 2020? It's like, oh fuck.
Nah, I mean, because you're like, look, if there's a hull problem, which is the only thing that warranty is going to cover anyway,
right? Yeah.
Through them, you have guys like John at JCS, and there are people around that can take care of that.
I wonder what it did for the resale value. I bet the resale value, and I don't mean to sound pessimistic to anybody, but I bet the resale value on anybody that owns a Charger right now just dropped 10 grand. Which is unfortunate because it's the same thing for Evinrude guys. Ask me, I still have my Ranger. It's because there's an Evinrude on it.
What's up, buddy?
Or it goes the way the Champions went. Which used champions bring a lot of money.
They do bring some money.
For used boats, they bring big dollars.
They do bring some big money.
You're not seeing like all original products on it, right? No updated electronics, no updated motors. If you take a Ranger, say like you take a similar Ranger, like
let's say a 520.
520.
Compare the 520 to the 203.
To a 203. A 203 is going for over $20,000 right now.
Oh yeah. And those are 2 of the most sought after models of each brand.
I mean, and that's a fair
comparison.
That's 50% more than what a comparable Ranger would go for.
I mean, it depends.
He came here to talk crap.
You're looking about what 15?
Nice.
Same setup on a Ranger. You're looking at about 15,000.
It depends. I mean, yes and
same
no.
Setup. Original motor, not updated electronics. I'm not talking any upgrades, anything like that.
Okay. Yeah.
You're still looking at $20,000 for.
I think it's at least a $5 grand difference. I mean, I think if you have let's just say a 520
for a good 203. That's the. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the going for now. You can find them cheap, just like you can find any boat cheap.
Right. But like a 520 VX versus a 203, let's say they both have, because they all had 225s, they both have a 225 EFI. Let's say 110
it's
up
better
front.
Than it was, Jimmy.
Like 110 up front, 110 in the rear. The champion's going to get a little bit more.
There he is, Thomas, fishing the DMV.
So you want to go even crazier? Do you know how much the last 06 Champion 210 I saw went for?
Like the last one?
The last one that I saw for sale.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say like mid 30s.
$42,000.
Original motor?
Original motor.
Wow.
Pro XS.
There's our invite right there, boys.
Dude, I want to because I'm so tired of not being able to do anything.
Just go fishing.
Yeah, it's awful.
Dude, I'm having withdrawal.
I'm going to try to go Monday, but I don't know what it's like. I don't even want to fit. Is it really? Like even on Conowingo? Because I just want to get seat time in the Bullet.
Everything's still laced up.
Damn, dude.
We're going to Anna in a couple weeks.
Frank went down to the shore today, and he was going across the Bohemia when I was on the phone with him, and he said it's solid ice.
No shit.
Damn.
And you know what? It's probably not going to be this warm long enough for it to really melt.
Just go down to the Nanacoke. Drive down to the Nanacoke and drive around down there. He said it's free. It's wide open. Miles says it's wide open on Conowingo.
Bay.
The bay is not wide open.
Well, probably.
Andrew, you guys fish grass down there all season long?
They fish a lot of hard structure down there.
I just see a lot of his videos. It seemed like he's kayaking through the grass. I don't know if that was later videos or videos that were current.
Jimmy said he went yesterday on the flats.
Jimmy, were you fishing or were you duck hunting? Just curious. Also, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but Jim, I've never seen you commenting on here, so welcome, man.
Jimmy's been on a few
Glad to
times
have you.
How
I just
heavy
probably
of a
didn't,
tungsten weight
probably
do
didn't
you need
recognize
to
him.
punch 3 inches of ice?
Pete said Conowingo's still icy. Damn,
you need a
man.
boat
You know,
anchor.
yeah, we don't measure that in ounces. We measure that in pounds. In the river, so the biggest thing with going out and getting sea time behind the bullet is you got to watch out for like floating ice.
Yeah. and
What's
I
up,
don't wanna mess
Riverboat
with that.
Rab?
It's not
Riverboat
worth
Rab
it.
in the house.
It's not worth it.
Nothing going to be nothing would be worse than taking the new bullet out and punching a hole in the hull.
Do
I
me a
finally
favor,
got
everybody.
everything
Hit that
put
like and
together.
the share button. It helps us a lot, right?
You know what? I will.
There.
I gotta
right
say,
there.
dude. I
Hit
gotta
the like
say,
and the share.
putting the poles on was actually really easy.
It's not.
It
hard.
was so easy.
It's just awkward.
It is awkward. But the hardest part was finding where in the bilge area I was gonna store my 15 extra feet of hoses.
What were you just doing?
Putting the power poles on the bullet or the Raptors, sorry. But man, it was that was the hardest part. Getting them on super easy.
Jeff fishes the Potomac. He said there's floating ice down there.
Wow. Yeah, man. It's not.
What's
worth
up, Jeff?
It. It's not worth it.
What's going on, Jeff?
And it sucks because today's the last day of duck season. Obviously, I didn't go. My whole duck season was ruined by ice. So there were some hardcore guys that were out there breaking ice and killing birds, and my hat's off to you because I wasn't doing that.
Hey, my buddy was out today.
I saw some wild videos of people crushing through ice.
There were guys I've never seen at least on social media, the amount of hooded mergansers and common mergansers killed this year. It was insane. It was insane. Everybody was killing rafts of fucking mergansers. Which is kind of, I don't care. Hey, kill them, right? They're legal to shoot. They don't taste good. You can make them in jerky and feed them to your dog if you want. But hey, if that floats your boat, I've killed them. I'll kill them. I'll continue to kill them. And I will eat them too.
That's you actually just sent me a video of them shooting ducks today.
Nice.
Nice.
That's hardcore, man. I respect that.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the likes and shares. Appreciate it.
So, to get back on topic, we're talking about Charger. Charger's been in business for quite a while, and 50 years, and they're no longer making bass boats as of today. So until someone buys them out, we don't know where the molds are. We don't know if it's a similar mold situation to Gambler.
The old man rolled over in his grave when she made that statement.
I probably agree with you, and that's the thing about it is if you watch Andy Hauser's video from Team Marine Service, they put a good video out today. You should definitely watch it. He kind of went through. And he has an inside track to this kind of thing, but he talked about it, and it truly, the company could continue. It was a family decision. It came down to, like Paul said, the owner passed away, and it came down to who got the business and what their intentions were. It wasn't money. It wasn't, this isn't a successful product. It was, the person with the rights to the company said, I'm not doing it anymore.
Maybe she's got a boat on a lake and she hates bass fishermen fishing her dock.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Either way, it's a sad day. And let's just think about this for a second. The amount of huge bass boat companies and just bass fishing companies in general that have gone out of business in the last however many years.
Or been purchased by larger entities.
It's quite alarming. I don't know that we've ever seen anything like that in the last 4 or 5 years. You got the world's oldest outboard, Evinrude, gone. The first trolling motor guide, gone. Legend boats, gone. And that was a while ago. Stratus boats, gone. That was a while ago as well.
Legend's been gone almost 10 years.
Yeah, 2019, I think it was.
I thought it was 2016.
That was Stratus. It's crazy to think that Stratus has been 10 years.
Stratus was 2013.
Was it really? Interesting. But yeah, man, it's kind of,
Sure.
it's
or no,
wild.
2013 might have been the last year that they made the 210. And then they went 2 more years after that.
What?
Just making Stratus.
I think the industry is just really slowing down right now. And it's like the car industry. Everyone
Andy even said that he made some phone calls and bass boat sales are going down. He said, but oddly enough, center consoles are going up. Like bay boats and offshore boats, that's going up.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that's happening. I wonder why that is.
Because the people that have enough money to buy those don't really care about the economy. That would be my guess.
True. It's a good point.
Bass fishing's a little more blue collar. A little more.
It's so interesting though to think about it because I mean everyone that's been around boats long enough agrees that the Champion hull and a lot of the things that the Champion company did and the Champion hull did over the years, regardless of who's making it. No, Miles, I'm drinking a tomato beer. It's a chelada. You should try it.
It's not good.
It's delicious.
That's better than the Clamato he was drinking.
Can I get one of those?
No. It's a Clamato.
Talls?
Oh, it's still Clamato? Yeah, no. It's got clam juice in it.
And
like-
tomato.
Like, why would you drink a beer that has clam juice?
It's
in
literally a
it?
freaking clam juice shot with beer.
Pretty much. It's actually really good. You should try it.
Mr. Murphy says there's a lot of ice.
It'll
up there.
put hair on your chest, son.
I'm sure there is a lot of ice up there because you get the ice. I mean, up there gets the ice flow coming down the river, and then it just stacks up. And
I gotta give Miles the shovel right now. I gotta put Miles on blast because we were talking today. The first Conowingo Open or not that I really care, and this is not a huge deal, but the first Conowingo Open next year, which him and I are the defending
Break
champs
out
of.
the natties.
He is going to be in Italy.
ooh, fancy.
Oh my gosh, Fishing the DMV is calling you out right now.
Yeah, exactly, Thomas. What's six son of a bitch drink clam
I
juice?
couldn't even believe it.
Wait a minute. Don't distract from the fact that Miles is wrong for being in Italy during our defending the title event on Conowingo. He literally is leaving me there to defend my title against Herb, Jason Bassa, and whoever else decides to show up.
I'll sub for him.
That might be a thing. Miles, I'm giving you the shovel. I hope you have a good time in Italy, but damn you.
I'm gonna. I plan on spending a lot of time on Conowingo this year, just for certain purposes. Let's put it that way.
It was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed it up there. I learned a lot about that place this year. But anyway, so my question before we move on is Champion made a legendary hull. Absolutely legendary what they did. Why can nobody create a Champion hull that can be modernized and is still out for sale? Since the patent is apparently up. You can get the hull. It's not like it's.
There was never a patent.
Why doesn't
never,
anybody
That's
do
what
it
I'm
with
saying.
Gambler?
There's never a patent issue. I just don't know. I would
point.
say that, like, and I'm going all. This is coming from Andy. I don't want to take credit for saying any of this. So check out Andy Hauser's video. But
Team Marine.
they weren't. Charger was not interested in selling a lot of boats. That wasn't their deal. They were gonna sell a few boats, a certain amount of boats a year, and they were happy with that. And according to him, I mean, they were successful. They were selling enough boats, and it was that company was making money, and it wasn't like he said, it wasn't a money deal, but other brands that did Champion.
What's up, Little John? Thanks for joining, buddy.
Mostly poor business decisions. A lot of poor business decisions.
Well, the original company, yeah, for sure.
And Stratus is the same way.
Yeah, that never really. I wish I could have seen one. Can we pull one of those up? Is there?
It looks it's a Champion 210. Literally a Champion 210.
What are we looking for?
We're gonna look up with a Stratus Champion
all
and
they
see if we
did-
can save it or share it on the screen.
They
for
were
you guys.
made in the same factory as the Champion 210s.
What's it called? What's the hull called?
210.
No
Stratus
shit.
210 Elite. It's all it is a Champion 210 Elite
With a Stratus badge.
with a Stratus badge on.
What did they sell a lot of them, or was it a limited production thing?
They made them for a few years. I think 2009 to 2013, something like that. It's
Holy crap, dude!
a-
Look at the big one, the big picture in the middle.
that's
That's it. Yeah.
that's a Strampion.
Oh my god.
And it just has a Stratus. Same pin the arrow and everything.
Wow. That's actually really cool. That's super neat. And it's got the I'm sure most of them came with Evinrudes too. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah, Stratus. Miles said his Stratus Javelin series. Javelin and Stratus were both owned by OMC
Yes.
in the 90s.
Yep.
And they were essentially the same boat with a different top cap. Tom Todd has the Javelin.
Yes.
And the difference between the Stratus and the Javelin, if you look at his consoles, are way farther forward. than on the Stratus. So the Stratus has more front deck space.
Yeah.
And there's so much room in the Javelin because one of the pros that was sponsored by them was very, very tall, like 6'5". So he had them design that boat with extra leg room.
Really? I actually didn't know that.
So that he could fit into it.
That's pretty cool.
That sounds like something I need.
I did not. I admittedly, probably Stratus and Javelin are two of the boats that I know the absolute least about. I just never really.
Stratus are good boats. The 201 was a really good haul.
Yeah, the 201 was a nice haul, and it was
really,
around for a long time.
Pretty fast and handled rough water very well. The Javelins handle rough water really well. Tom's boat handles rough water very well.
Tom has a 200 on his, right?
Yeah, okay. 200.
So it's like a 198 or something.
It's a Renegade 19.
Okay,
is what they call is the model.
Now, didn't Stratus also make a couple go fast hauls? It was like the 21 SS or the 20 SS were fast.
20 SS and the 21 SS were really, really good and pretty fast hauls. Tom's Javelin, before he put power poles on it, when that motor was fresh, with a 200 on it, that boat would run 70 miles an hour.
That's pretty good. That's really good.
I mean, it's a fast haul with a 200 on it.
I mean, Miles's boat with a 150 will run upper 50s, which an 18-foot boat with a 150, that's not bad.
That's about average. That's what my champion ran. My champion.
Yeah. I mean, after I put all the bullshit on my Ranger, I ran 55, 56. I almost want to run it now to see what it runs without the poles and stuff on it. It's probably a lot faster. Probably pick up 5-6 mile an hour.
It may or may not, because it's putting weight in the back, which is going to help you too. So weight in the back, but a little the aerodynamics are a little off, so you get a little more wind drag. Right. So it probably cancels out.
Yeah.
I lost 1 mile an hour on my champion with a 150 putting poles on it.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. But those older boats also were really good. With,
Miles said he hit 62 solo with no gear.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I hit 63 once in the champion.
The fastest I ever hit with the Ranger was 67 on Conowingo.
With a 20 mile an hour tailwind on an outgoing tide.
Yeah, I was fishing.
That current was rolling down the shipping channel on the flats. I
was fishing on Conowingo.
I like a 4 or 5 mile an hour current.
Yeah. I was fishing Conowingo one day during the week, and I was at Mount Johnson Island fishing that flat out in front. I had no idea how to fish, and the current, it was just ripping current. It was my 4th or 5th time ever fishing Conowingo with my Ranger. So I ran from there all the way to Glen Cove, and I did like 67 the whole way. It was cool. It's like, damn, this thing's fast. And then I ran in real conditions, and it ran like 64. I was like, damn it. Like
that's when you when you want to post those those Facebook big dick pictures, of your or videos of your your GPS speed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just go to a river and you go down current. You wait till the wind's blowing down the river and you get that wind behind you and the current.
Oh yeah.
You can easily add like 5 mile an hour to your top speed.
Yep. But yep, so that's the thing. So Charger is, as of today, is no more. We'll see what happens.
Full load.
Nice. Classic.
Still, that's fast though.
He said load. Grab a bird.
Yeah. So, another champion hull company.
Will we see another one?
Yeah.
Who do you think it's going to be?
It'll be Charger.
So you think someone will buy the Charger molds and just keep it going?
They're going to buy the whole company.
Okay.
Because
the parent company, they still make like pontoons and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not really a parent company. It was 2 separate companies from my research today. The owner, so the owner for Charger holds the world record for fastest pontoon boat.
Really?
Yeah.
What was on the back of it?
Like 2 400s.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's moving.
121 miles an hour or something like that.
God.
in a pontoon boat. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's rolling. That's absolutely moving.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was.
I can't imagine. Like, I can't believe one of those doesn't like catch wind underneath of it at that fast and just like float out.
That can happen.
I'm almost at the point like, how does it not happen?
How do you get a monstrosity like a pontoon boat going that fast
with 2 400s on the back?
Still.
They don't weigh anything.
There was one on Deep Creek that was like apparently there was a 100-mile-an-hour pontoon boat on Deep Creek.
I met that person once on the water, and I was in my Champion, and I was doing altitude. I was by myself,
Probably doing like
practicing.
50,
I was doing like 56, 57.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
That dude walked by me like I was sitting still.
I've heard of this pontoon boat.
like
I've
I,
never seen it.
I'm like wide open, like man, yeah. I'm like, all right, yeah. Get this pontoon boat just goes.
The guy on Facebook, was it like John Blake Riddle? Is that his name?
Yeah, but he's got a bullet. Yeah.
He freaking walked that dude that had that pontoon boat with like a 500 on the back of it or something.
He's got a 20 XD though with like nothing in it and I mean no weight at all. So
115. It was 115 miles an hour.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That was a
that's
couple
wild.
years ago, wasn't it?
2020.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Blake Riddle has a
Yeah.
Miles, that's what we were just talking
yeah.
about. So he's got a 20 XD with a 300R with no weight in the boat at all. That thing
I bet that thing chine walks like a mofo.
Oh, I'm sure it does. It's insane, but I mean, if you can drive it, you can drive
I
it.
don't know why it does that. It does that every now and then.
Oh, what's up, Dale? Dale's watching from
Hey,
Riley's
what's
Oyster
up,
Bar.
Dale?
I've been in Riley's Oyster Bar numerous times.
Look, try one of these with your oyster.
Riley's Oyster Bar is probably loud as all hell right now. So I appreciate you watching in that environment because I've been in there before and it is extremely loud.
Take an oyster for us. Ever since our Rhode Island friends, I'll do an oyster or two.
Oysters are delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Thanks to our buddy Tinfoil Todd, Mr. Todd Rana.
The fastest at the shootout is typically 140. I don't want to. There's no part of me, like not a cell in my body that wants to do 140 miles an hour in a boat.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, you're flying at that point. Like you might as well just put wings on it and just
at least
take off.
If you have a car that's built to go fast, like you have downforce that's sticking you to the road.
Right.
It's the opposite in a boat.
Yeah. Oh, yes. 100%.
It wants to pick you up.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like you see those drag boats that are doing like 200 miles an hour. They just
they
flip right over.
Yep.
Or like that one really bad wreck a couple years ago on the Potomac.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that
No.
one? They were doing a speed run and it was a bigger boat and the boat flipped. It almost went all the way. It did a backflip and the nose caught. Like as it was inverted, the nose caught, and you could just see the driver just.
Did it rip the whole nose of the boat off?
It didn't, but like it literally did a backflip, and it almost made it all the way, and the nose caught the water before it could flip all the way, and you literally just saw the driver just ejected.
It
was bad.
Yeah,
Miles isn't allowed to ride in the Bullet before me.
You were talking
We
about.
have to videotape the first ride. And
Lake
how
Anna.
terrified
We'll be at
we
Lake
are.
Anna in 3 weeks.
You were talking about drag boats, and I was thinking like the enclosed.
Oh no! It wasn't that. It was like just some dude going fast as shit in a boat.
We're definitely running your Bullet at Lake Anna. We're gonna.
Oh
try.
yeah.
Well, oh god, I can't believe I just said that.
Oh, it's gonna run.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
Okay, just
run.
take it easy. It was just take your time.
Think
with
about it
I'll
this
get
way.
in the boat with you, but take your time.
It's not that much faster than you were going with Kevin.
That's true. But Kevin was also driving 78 miles an hour with no hands on his steering wheel, which is the most dude. Kevin, are you watching? Kevin's boat.
I heard it was extremely
insane.
Yeah,
That
Dude,
comfort level.
running 78 miles an hour, and Kevin literally reaches over and like taps me on the shoulder, and he's like,
That's pretty awesome.
and it's just beadlining.
yeah.
Which is
Like,
pretty.
it's
pretty crazy.
No chime, nothing.
When I went out with him Monday morning, we were like cruising 75, and like he was steering with one finger.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive when you consider that hull was never designed to go that speed and it's that stable at that speed.
Why wasn't it designed to go that? If it wasn't designed to go that speed, why does it go that speed?
Well, because it's got more horsepower than what it was designed for.
Yeah, but what did he pick up?
It wasn't.
The 250 is
what
not
did he pick
designed
up?
for that hull.
What did he pick up? He picked up 85 horsepower.
The miles an hour though.
Miles an hour.
It was already running 73, 75 before he flashed
he was
it.
doing high 60s.
He's gaining another 10 to 12
So
out
he
of
gave
it.
like 10 mile an hour. Yeah.
Well, he picked up. I mean, he picked up almost 100 horsepower. So that's
Probably
about right.
8 to 10 horsepower or 8 to 10 mile an hour.
Yeah. I mean, it's about right.
Like
Like
the other thing,
So a lot of that was prop too, because it wasn't like he didn't have
Yeah.
very prop on it when he had it prior to flashing it. So
I will say another thing to note that Kevin made definitely something that he definitely noted. His fuel efficiency went way up with the flash.
yeah, his mid range, like obviously still it still burns some gas when you got it to the floor, it still burns some gas, but like
probably
cruising,
helped that too.
Dude,
like cruising, like just cruising around, like he burned like half as much gas as I did.
wow.
Say, I went through almost a whole tank of gas in my Ranger. He only went through like a half tank all weekend.
How did you go through a whole tank?
I ran.
Did you?
I only went
Damn.
through. I was
crazy.
running 70 miles an hour everywhere, and
I ran.
I only went through a
everywhere.
half a tank.
I was gonna say. I mean, I could see
What
me
size tank
going
you
through
got?
a whole tank.
And I just kept. I think honestly, for once, I was actually enjoying like being in my boat.
What size tank do you have though?
25.
Oh,
Oh, that's
so
tiny.
keep in mind, like me and Kevin have like 42-gallon tanks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize your tank was that small.
Well,
Holy
Kevin,
shit, it's
Kevin,
either a 25 or a 30.
Kevin,
Wow.
I think Kevin has two 18-gallon tanks or something like that.
There-
I have
I'll tell you
one
what.
42-gallon.
That Ranger, you could if I filled my Ranger up, both tanks, I would
So me
not have to
burning-
get fuel for like
maybe I'm
3
wrong,
months.
but I don't. I think
So me burning half a tank, me and you burned almost the same amount, gallons wise. Yeah, let's look it up and see what it is. Well, I mean, you filled it up, right?
actually I don't. I normally run it like half tank.
Hey Miles,
No,
what's
I
the
meant when you went
capacity
down
of your old
Yeah, I
tank?
filled it all the way up.
Miles, how much oil does your boat handle? Do you know? Because you never filled it up before.
I know how much his. I know how much it holds.
I'm trying to do this so I can.
What are you doing?
What is happening? Don't cut yourself.
I'm not gonna cut myself on purpose.
Nitro has a 60-gallon. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
My 18.5-foot Champion had a 48-gallon tank.
That's
30.
actually
It's
pretty
got a
big.
31 gallon tank.
31 gallons.
31 gallon tank.
So I have 42. So you burned almost 30 gallons. I mean, I burned 21.
This isn't working.
And you probably did run around more than I did. Because I spent a lot of time like on my trolling motor out in the middle.
Yeah, well,
Scoping and shit.
I just spent a lot of time running from pool to pool to pool, just trying to find them in. I don't know. My first
shit.
time down there by myself, so.
He's got a full now, so you're at least good for like 2 tournaments.
I feel like pool 3 had the biggest fish. I feel like pool 3 we always caught our biggest fish in pool 3.
It's the coldest in
the
pool
biggest
3.
all of my biggest fish that I've ever caught down there have been out of pool 2.
I did not fish pool 3 very much. I fished pool 2 and
And
pool
I've seen
1
big.
a lot.
I've seen 5-pounders in pool 1.
Really?
And by
Also,
seeing them, I mean one came up and ate Jason's topwater, and he was too high to set the hook.
It happens. Not to me, because I don't mess with it, but it happens.
So he's just like steady reeling it in. He's like, I might need the net. Can you get the net? And he never, the whole time he never set the hook. He's just reeling.
So the fish was just on it.
Yeah.
It's
And
nice.
he comes up and goes on the side of the boat.
Was this like off the dock or something?
No, he was in. Jason and Mark were in his boat, and me and Kevin were in my boat.
Oh, nice. Fun.
So we were like right next to him when it happened. I mean, like when I say right next to him, we were like 10 feet from their boat, like just going
pumped.
around them.
I'm pretty excited to go. Just because that's going to be the first time I get the bullet wet at this point. So Jim has an 18-foot nitro.
Oh,
Jim,
Jimmy,
what
you got
kind
a Triton?
No, nitro.
Jim, no, you got a.
Oh, wait a minute. He has a Triton?
Kevin's going back down in 2 weeks? A week?
Next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. I wonder if there's any spots available.
Yes,
There
I
is.
believe so.
Dude, Kevin loves that place, man.
I might go down again.
It is a
If
pretty
I don't
good
have
place.
plans to do anything else, I might go back down to Anna if he's got a spot available.
I gotta dig through Jimmy's pictures now and see if I see any pictures of this trade. Did I like miss that? Yeah.
While you guys are
Jimmy,
looking for that, oh, go
Jimmy
ahead.
posts too much on Facebook. I can't-
While you
I
guys are
can't
looking for that, I want to move on to our next topic. And our next topic is on February 28th. So that is 4
Is that our next
weeks.
topic? I thought we had another topic in between that. That's our last topic.
No, the last topic is the cross Atlantic topic.
Oh, I thought that's what you were about to talk about.
No.
Do we normally follow our topics in order? Because I feel like we don't.
I don't know.
I would like to. So, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So February 28th, we have our next guest as of right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty excited about this one because it's a smaller company that most of us have experience with. We're having a pro staff member who's also very involved with the production and new product development from Ardent Reels. So he's going to come on and get a chance to talk to us a little bit about how some of the reels are made and the production that it takes to be a pretty active and pretty substantial company when it comes to making reels and rods. They do make rods too. So we're excited to have them on.
What's up, Zach? Thanks for joining, brother.
Zach.
I will say I'll make the claim right now.
I'll check it out, Jimmy.
Ardent is very difficult to beat when it comes to bang for buck for the product, especially for the reels.
I mean, only if you're on their pro staff, which
most people are.
Which is not hard.
Right. So,
send them an email. Hey, here's 40% off.
I mean, I've been using a lot of their stuff for quite a long time. They were the first company to sponsor the VMI Bass team when I did the college stuff. So they kind of are always going to have
local.
They're always going to have like a place in my heart at least. So I appreciate them for that. But I've been using Ardent Reels for a long time, and I've seen some of the production of some of their older stuff to their newer stuff. I mean, Chad will tell you, there's very, very few people that are going to throw a frog further than me, and that's because of the reel, for the most part. Tom is another Ardent guy. Tom over.
Yeah. I've thought about it before, but just haven't because I'm pretty solidified on my Tatulas at this point.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about them is
3-year warranty is nice, but not having to use the 3-year warranty is even nicer.
So I will say their warranty though is like I've only had to use, and I've been using Ardent a lot of their rods and almost exclusively their reels for quite a while, and I will say that their warranty is like no questions asked.
Yeah, it's very good.
What do you got? Like, what's the problem? We're just going to send you a new one. It's like mind blowing.
Was it just like one of those like lemon reels that you got? Which, by the way, was really weird because it wasn't really a lemon because you threw one of the farthest casts I've ever seen with it. But it sounded like it was going to detonate in your hand.
I still use that reel, and it still works. I have not taken it.
And I'm not trying to talk crap about like Ardent, but I've literally I've seen different things, and they back their stuff. And that reel cast like a mofo. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just it's just one of them things where
There's like one there.
I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I was about to throw in an old timer.
Ugh. That just kind of it just blew my mind how far you were casting, but how loud the reel was.
So, and that's the thing.
And I feel like
right?
that's probably not normal.
You know what
I will
would
tell
like to do,
you. But no, you go ahead.
Tom loves them though.
So, I know you can throw that Ardent real far. I want to take your frog rod that you can cast a certain distance, and throw my Tatula Elite on it.
That would be a good video.
Just see how far you can cast.
Oh, dude, we should do that. We should do that for a video. We should get a bunch of different reels with the same rod.
I'll end up having Lil will end up making a Facebook post or something.
So
just kidding, Lil.
We should get a bunch of different reels with the same rod, same lure, same line, same everything, and figure out which reel throws it the farthest. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, so even Tom's saying that it was like that,
and you get and we could do all three of us because who knows?
I've got.
I just think it would be great to just same rod, different reel, same frog, same line, and just compare the cast with the same person.
Yes,
and just see the differences.
I mean, I got a Corrado MGL and a Tatula Elite that we can throw in there.
I got a Corrado DC 200 you can throw in there.
We can throw we can throw an Tatula SVTW in there. Because the SVTW is supposed to not cast as far because of the braking system that's in it, less backlash and stuff like that.
And like a 13 rod or 13, like one of the nicer reels too, like that.
We'll spool one of my zillions up with braid.
I'll tell you what, I have a Concept A 13 that I bought off of Murphy actually. Murphy, I'm gonna make fun of you for a second, but it's because I love you. Murphy had like 3 or 4 reels. He's like, these things are shitty, they don't work. And I'm like, well, I'll give you like $40 for them. And I'll take them for the parts. Well, they just all weren't put back together right. So, I still use every single one of them.
Nelson. Casting kids, bass and beer version.
Okay, we should do this. We should, while it's cold and it sucks and nobody can fish, we should literally just get a different reel with the same lineup and same everything.
Yeah, let's do it.
And figure out what casts the furthest.
We need to find a shit ton of cheap braid though. Power
Pro.
No, Andrew, you can't have our idea.
No, we're gonna need like a 2,000 yard spool of braid because we're gonna have to spool up like.
Why can't we re-spool?
Just get a bunch of freaking. Yeah, I would.
Because that takes forever.
I mean,
I would rather just.
What's up, Brian?
I'd rather just buy like a 1,000 yard spool of Cast King braid for $50.
I actually really like Cast
but
King
the levee
braid.
was B-Rye.
I actually really like the Cast King braid.
Let me get a tall boy.
Yeah. No, I actually really like the Cast King braid, man. Especially the smaller diameters. They seem to be really good.
I mean, we can get some. I mean, we could just put some like Amazon. Well, like, we're not worried about it breaking. We could throw some Amazon braid on there and call it a day.
All right, we're gonna do this. All right, you guys tell us right now, what reel do you want featured on the cast off? Because we're gonna make this happen, and we're gonna figure this out.
Anybody watching right now, when we do the cast off, what reels would you? Well, it's gonna go down to what we have, but what kind of reels would you like to see throwing these?
And if you have a reel that you want featured, if you bring it to us,
if you have a reel we want tested, we'll
test it for you, and we'll see. This is gonna be fun because I think there might be some surprising results.
Want to do this next weekend?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll do this next weekend.
Okay.
Cool.
I just don't know where we're gonna do it.
We go up to my parents' house where it's just a big giant field.
Jimmy wants to see the cheapest Temu back in.
I have one. I have one.
Dude, I swear to you, I really want to do it. Like, I want to build a freaking bass fishing boat with Temu only products.
Just like
we talked about that when we were at JCS Marine.
Yep, all Temu. Temu boat, Temu everything.
I want you to. I would like to see you fish a tournament, one of the Thursday nighters this year with nothing but Temu rods, reels, lines, and baits. And
oh my god!
But the thing is, we should be testing. Be testing some of the Temu crap. Like, that's just shit people want to see. Honestly,
imagine the profit margin on that.
I know. Well, you win one Thursday nighter, you can outfit yourself for a whole year on Temu.
I think putting a decent lose reel in there is something that's worth testing.
I'm not big on the whole Temu thing, but definitely like some of the like lower end stuff would be
I'll tell you what,
would just be fun.
Rob actually gave me a box of reels about a year or so ago that were, and Rob is very honest about it. Rob said, hey man, I took these apart for something and I never got them back together, and it's a mixed assorted, some of them are complete, some of them aren't. Here you go, do you want them? I said, yeah, I'll take them. I got 99% of them working, some of them are just missing parts.
I have some I have some Frankenstein reels.
Oh yeah.
That I've like.
It's hard to do that.
That I've swapped like gears and stuff out of. It's hard to do because different manufacturers use different size gearing and stuff like that.
I will say, the worst reel I've ever used in my life.
Why is that the first thing in my search?
What? Because it listens to you.
Men string bikini. That's the first thing in the team user. I've never even been on this website.
I was actually, all right, well, that's suspect. But I was about to say, so Brian Dyson had a good comment. Brian said, don't buy Cast King, straight trash. I didn't buy it. Rob gave it to me. I actually had a Ducket rod. Sorry.
Hi, Julie.
Ducket reel. It was a 320 Ducket.
Julie, Kevin's going to ride four-wheelers with us.
I bought it when I bought my Micro Magic Pro. So I got like 5-6 years. I got 5 years out of that reel. So for what it was, it did its job. That reel sucked.
Brian,
horrible reel.
Brian, are you talking about like the low end Cast King reels, or are you talking like, because they have some relatively expensive reels now?
I actually I replaced that reel that I was just talking about with a Cast King, and I actually really, really, really like it. I really like it a lot.
Oh my gosh. How are we going to pick what kind of... Oh, I want the colorful one.
Oh, 885.
That's what I'm saying, 885.
Did I have a Temu reel?
Do they have any like 300 series reels that are like dirt cheap?
I mean, $8.
Well, it gets 11 ball bearing.
The problem is, if you buy this reel today, you're not going to get it until like month from
That is
now.
one of the problems. We
Well,
literally.
you're not going to get it till a month from now, and after you've had to dispute credit card charges for like 15 weeks.
And you're going to get a call from Trump. Why are you ordering from Temu? It's from China. Very bad. 50% tariff. Will not allow.
There is no survey,
ICE
Julie. We're
is
men
coming
and
for-
we do what we want.
ICE is coming for you right now.
It may or may not have been funding
Like
the
Trump, he
terrorists.
does what he wants.
Right. You're going to be deported for buying a Temu reel. I've seen it. I made my promise on the campaign trail. Okay, Kamala Harris wouldn't deport you, but I would.
So I want to scroll through here, but it's like I don't even know what to click. High speed 7. Like,
Can you share the
there's
screen?
nothing that's.
There's nothing name brand on there.
No, dude, absolutely not. They do sell Cast King on Temu. I bought one. So, all right, I bought a Cast King reel on Temu. It's called the Verus. It holds a whopping 50 yards of line.
So I've seen.
Like, what is that?
That's Soigalang, that like green and white.
So
one
You
there.
Gay. That's called So You Gay Lang. I bought it and I sent it to my club and they're like, "So you gay?" I was like, "Okay."
So you
All right.
get.
I've seen that on Amazon.
Is that 35 with the rod?
Yes, it looks that way. Click on it.
John,
I'm scared to click on these things.
It's fine.
yeah. As long
This
as you don't buy
computer is
anything.
going to crash out.
Look,
and it
they
won't
had
be
a
at that
Super Bowl
porn.
commercial. It can't be that bad.
Look at that medium action. It's a medium action rod.
It's in like
7-2
7
material.
pieces. It's a telescope
It's a
rod.
77.95 inch left handle.
How
That's
how
what-
many feet is
What
that?
does that even mean? It's
That
straight.
is, it's 6
6'6".
foot.
With
Yeah,
the
6'6",
reel, with the
okay.
reel, with the reel.
6'6" left handle.
Oh my
I
Six-
god.
like
medium.
I like the lefties.
I mean, there's your new jerk bait rod.
Oh my god.
That's
It's
what you
definitely
need.
like a 3-piece rod.
Wait, what is it though?
It's gonna
It
be
doesn't
broken when you
say-
get here.
It doesn't say lightweight design, fishing rod.
7.2 to 1 gear
Okay,
ratio.
it's a medium action.
So is it 4 pieces, or are they just showing you all the guides?
It's probably like it's going to be in 4 pieces when it gets to you.
4 sections.
four
there you go.
sections. It's a 4-section rod.
Oh my god.
we need to do this.
That right there is what we call the poacher.
We're gonna make a
special.
video and sections are just gonna go flying.
Yeah. All right, so the cast-off's a thing. I think that's going to happen. That's going to be neat. So we got the Ardent reels. I have an Apex Grand. I have I have some of the top of the line Ardent reels, so we'll be able to test those. We got some. Sounds like we got some Lus in there. We got some Daiwas. We got some Shimano's.
Oh, dude, this one's got a freaking counter and shit on it.
That's a trolling reel right there. High quality. Like I would totally go fish for tuna on that.
Really? So the one thing I will say, and
if
we
you caught a tuna on that, it would literally catch on fire.
we did talk about this earlier, and
Wouldn't melt.
Paul actually had a really good point. Is that the thing about Ardent is it's a small company, and you said that the guy, the director of public or PR or whatever, was actually
Do us a favor, everybody.
like the
hit
head-
that,
like the head
hit
of the
that
pro
share
staff.
button
Yeah.
for us. Hit that like and share button if you haven't. To the people that are watching, it helps us out. Appreciate it.
So Ardent was really, and they still are very responsive to.
They're even ripping
like,
off the
user
Daiwa
comments.
logo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the one I want right there. It's only $20.
Max drag.
This one looks like a Corrado.
It's a max drag bait casting reel.
Well, the So You Gay Lang.
That looks like old Corrados.
So let me say this. I bought
They got some
a
roundies.
I bought a
Tranks.
6'9". I bought a 6'9" medium
that.
action casting rod from Ardent this year for like hair jigs and like really like the Mickey rigs, Ned rigs, stuff like that.
What was it? I'm sorry.
It was a 6'9" light from Ardent. It was a rod.
Way too short for hair jig.
Yeah. So it was mainly for like Ned rigs and like really light hair jigs, stuff like that.
Like a drop shot, right?
For a light, not even a medium light, a light.
Depends
Oh,
on
they
what
do
rod
have
is.
Cast King on
So
here.
you can't. That's one thing about rods. Anytime you're looking at rods, is you can't just look at like a St. Croix and go, okay, well this is a medium, and then I look at Loomis and this is a medium, and I look at Shimano and
Yeah,
this is a
that's
medium,
true.
and
That's
think
true.
they're all going to be the same. Like a Shimano medium light is more like a St. Croix
The
medium.
Vigilant Eagle 8:4 to 1 ratio.
73. There's no way I would ever pay $73 for
Oh,
something.
I'm definitely not paying stuff. Oh,
Off of
look,
Temu.
you can pay with the freaking apps that just like
Affirm. Yeah.
Affirm and Klarma.
Isn't a firm
Afterpay.
like pretty legit though?
Yeah.
They're actually all legit. I've used them all before.
So
Is
anyway,
that Afterpay?
4 interest-free payments.
so this is just my experience with Ardent, right? Me and Travis we had a legendary day on Conowingo in the evening. I skipped a Thursday nighter to fish it, and we had an amazing day, like 22 pounds on Conowingo in July. It was insane.
Very cheap components, a cheap price. Yeah, you get that a lot with any of those like sub $100.
Yeah.
Sub $100 bait casters.
So we were whacking them on finesse baits, and we were catching a lot of fish. And I had like a 1.5 pounder, maybe a 2 pounder, and I tried to boat flip it in the boat. Now you can do that with most rods, but this was a 6.9
Why
light.
do I only see curtain rods? She's making a joke that she's a woman. It's funny.
Respect. So anyway, I broke the rod. I flipped the fish in, and I broke the rod. Now, part of that was probably my fault, but it's a 1.5 pound, 2 pound fish. You should be able to boat flip that
One
fish.
pounder, it shouldn't.
So I took some pictures of it. I sent it to Ardent's warranty guy. Within 4 days, I had a brand new rod at my door. No questions asked. Nothing.
shipping?
Free shipping.
That's
I was
good.
like, that's awesome. That to me, that's awesome.
good.
That's why I really, really like Ardent
Yeah,
because
I've never had any issues with like their customer service or anything like that. It's just I would prefer not to have to use that.
yeah.
Like talking specifically on reels, rods. Like I break rods, I slackline, and I am rough on my gear, so I'm gonna break rods. So like I love that for rods, but for reels, I would rather just not have to use the warranty. Like
Yeah.
I've never had to use a warranty. Like I've never had to use a warranty with Daiwa.
I had a rod
had
one time.
I've never had a quantum reel that was so bad that it like was unusable.
I've never had a problem with any of my Daiwa reels.
One of my
I have
first.
one.
I had one bearing. I have one bearing that's bad in my tattoo.
I think I have 3 of them.
But I swapped it. I
My
swapped
80 is loud. When you cast it, it goes like.
I swapped the spool bearing, which somehow rusted. And I didn't have another bearing that would fit. I was wondering why it was on my frog rod. Wondering why I was casting like crap. So I just swapped it with the. It's the same size bearing that's in the reel handle. Mm-hmm. So I just swapped the two. I was like, yeah, I don't care if it's rusty in there. Now it's fine.
I would honestly like to do like a Boca bearing swap in in one of my 80s or something like that.
I would like to
see
do
how they
Boca
are.
bearings in all mine, but
One of my first ever Ardent rods I bought was a
They're not
7.6.
expensive.
It was a 7.6 Denny
they already have
Brower.
25 reels.
To do 25 reels it is, but I would pick the ones that you mainly use the most and then put them in that. I put them in 3. I put them in 3
I
of my reels.
don't. I don't really have rods that I don't use though.
Yeah. But really,
Well, then do it over time, Paul. I don't know what to tell you.
That's that's the reason that I clean my own reels.
And
like,
yeah.
I have so many of them that it's not. It would cost me so much to take them to like Jerry, even though it's cheap.
Yeah.
$20 a reel or whatever. Yeah, 20,
No,
25.
it's more. Than
when it's 10 reels, it's $200
people went
bucks.
up. It used to be like $25 a reel just for cleaning. But even at like $25 a reel, like I have 30 reels that need to be done.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot.
so that's six.
We should do a video on reel cleaning because I've gotten
Well,
good at pulling
we
my
were
truck,
actually
too.
last year. We were actually supposed to have Jerry come on the show.
We should still get him on
And
the
I'm
show.
sure he would still come on. I just have to reach back out to him again. I actually have a couple reels I need to bring to him.
So my first experience with Ardent warranty was I had only been using them for about a year and a half, and I had a 7.6 flip and pitch rod. It was a Denny Brower series rod. I had the reel and everything.
I
And
can't say Brian's wrong with that comment.
I've honestly I've never
For a
used
budget
Lou's
reel.
so
Not
I
to cut you off.
No, you're
but
good.
I do like to address the comments when they come in.
oh yeah, so I had it was a 7.6 flip and pitch reel or rod, and I don't know what happened, but it splintered when I set the hook on a fish. So I think it got stepped on or maybe closed in a lid or something. It was probably my fault, but I only had the rod for maybe 2 or 3 months, and I talked to the warranty department, and they actually did not have that rod in stock. And I was like, man, that kind of sucks. And he's like, well, hey, I'll tell you what, we don't have this rod. If you go one step up to the Edge series, which is their top of the line, pick which rod you want, and we'll send it to you.
Ardent.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, no problem. So I picked the rod, and I was like, how do you want me to pay? And they said, no, you're good. We don't have the rod in stock. We'll send you this one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, for real? I mean, that's a $70 more of a value, and they just sent. I still have that rod. I still use it. So that was a really good experience, and I can say that I've used Ardent's warranty maybe 4 times, and I have at least 15 of their rods and probably 25 of their reels. And out of those 6 years of use, I've used the warranty 4 times, and it's been the same experience every time. It's been no problem. Let us know what happened. We'll send you a new one. You don't have to pay returns. You can keep the rod. You can keep the reel for parts or whatever, and they send you a new one. I took apart a spinning rod reel one time, and I couldn't get it back together. It was completely my fault, 100%. I literally put everything in a Ziploc bag, and I said, hey, I can't get this thing back together. They just sent me a new reel. I sent it into them, and they sent me a new reel. I was like, did you guys send me? No, don't worry about it. We sent you a new one.
So think about this.
Okay, thanks. Like,
That's cool.
Think about what that means for what their actual cost is on those items.
yeah.
Like if they're just like, whatever, you can't put it back together, let's just send them a new one. Like you can't do that unless the cost on that is astronomically inexpensive. Because you will lose so much money.
I bet you there's a lot of low cost associated with a lot of the different brands out there. And I tend to believe that depending on what kind of reels you get, it's probably almost like batteries. They're probably made in they're not all the same, but they're made in probably the same freaking places and then shipped over here.
Almost all reels are made in similar places.
Right.
There's going to be like Taiwan, Indonesia type places. The only 2 manufacturers, well, I won't say the only 2, but the only 2 that I know of. I know there are a couple that are made specifically in the United States. Like I think Bates is made specifically in the United States, but Daiwa, the higher end Daiwas and the higher end Shimanos are made in Japan.
Have you ever had a reel you really didn't like?
Yes, Shimano Kanan.
What was the price point on that?
Like $119.
Spitting or casting?
Casting.
Why didn't you like it?
Because it casted like shit.
Really?
And it had it taking it apart. It has way too many extra parts that are kind of unnecessary. Like spring. It had like a spring-loaded. It was like a spring-loaded tensioner underneath the handle, and that's not necessary. Like everything's
13's that way. 13 reels are that way. I've taken apart quite a few 13 reels, and there's just entire areas of that reel where you just don't need to have that. That's one thing I really like about the Ardent reels. I haven't heard anything
good about 13 fishing reels. I feel like that's just not one of those brands that you see a lot of people just have strict 13 fishing.
I own one. It was it was $100 reel. It's actually on my punching rod.
It's like a Walmart brand almost.
And
isn't it part of the Google?
I feel like it's like no offense to Paul,
favorite.
but I feel like it's like a Quantum type thing.
I mean,
they got big pretty quick. I will say that they got very popular very quickly
through networking and advertisement. But
they're everywhere.
Do you see any pros that are running 13 all the time?
Scott Martin ran 13, didn't he?
There is people sponsored by them, but
Chris Aldane.
Even Oliver Nye for a while was using 13, I think.
Yeah.
Swindle was doing.
I don't hate their products.
Actually, Swindle is currently with 13.
I've never used any of it to actually judge it. I'm just reviews from other people that I've seen, and I'm just judging by the fact that you don't see it a ton.
The Concept A is not
average.
bad.
I would say average. It's average quality. Not great. It's not great. It's not entry level. Yeah. I would say it's decent entry level stuff.
Do you actually like the Boyd Duckett rods, or are you just screwing with us?
I like their rods. I won't.
Chinese garbage.
I like their rods.
They're mass produced.
Hey, look, when I got into fishing, my first fishing rod was a freaking Duckett Ghost. That's what I freaking got.
I don't like the guides.
That's what I caught all my pond fish on.
The guides are garbage, but
they are
rods
garbage.
Are okay.
They have garbage components.
I broke the tips on them so many times.
They're mass produced blanks that are super fragile. There's even at $100 price point, there's probably you could probably name 6 to 7 rods that you can buy on the market that are better.
I wonder if there'll be quality differences in the Dobbins series and the Dobbins Furies rods after being sold and after they sold Gary Dobbins sold out.
I'm sure because of it being, it's not like when
It always happens that way.
it's not like when Loomis.
Right.
It's not like when Loomis sold. When Loomis sold, they were bought by a fishing company.
Yeah. I thought Loomis and Shimano were owned by the same parent, though.
No, Shimano owns Loomis.
Okay.
Shimano is the parent company.
Okay.
That's why a lot of their blanks. Well, dude, a lot of fishing rod blanks are from freaking Loomis blanks and shit.
Loomis blanks are pretty much only in Loomis rods. They don't sub them out.
Shimano has some.
So
St. Croix has some.
St. Croix does not. St. Croix makes all their own blanks.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%.
I don't know
St. Croix
anything
makes-
about Loomis.
St. Croix makes 100% of their own blanks. They're one of 3 blank manufacturers, like 3 or 4.
Their blank is specifically just a St. Croix blank. It is nothing.
They're one of 3. It used to be 3. There may be like 4 or 5 now blank manufacturers in the United States.
A lot of Tom's rods
Right.
were St. Croix blanks.
So that's
And
the
mud
thing.
hole
So
blanks,
your
yeah.
Shimano blanks, they may use some of the technology that was learned by Loomis, but all Loomis rods are still made in Oregon or Washington.
So if you have like a high quality Loomis rod that has the same blank as a lower quality, like say Shimano rod, what makes the price difference? Just the way they decorate it, coat it,
Because
yada
they don't.
yada yada.
the blank is what's expensive. It's like
Right.
it's like looking at so when you look at like an NRX Plus versus like a St. Croix Legend Extreme, or then those two are about the same price point.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to like a Poison Adrena and a Shimano, they're not the same blanks. So you're looking at much higher carbon content in the NRX Plus and the Legend Extreme. Your carbon content's going to be a little bit different, so it's going to be more sensitive the higher up you go in the blanks. The blanks and the guides are really the expensive parts of rods.
Right.
Fuji guide trains.
They make decent guides.
So like
Depending on what you get.
the guide train specifically on my custom rod that Tom built me, like at his cost the guides were $75.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about that as the percentage of cost of a rod. Like the guide train was $75. The rod cost me $220.
Honestly, I feel like the guides is the biggest problem I've had with my rods, is just a guide breaking off or losing the little plastic ring inside of it, and then it starts cutting your line. Just lots of little things like that have to do with the guides. Your guides are a lot more important than you think they are. Also, the being able to transfer that sensitivity down into your rod is another thing.
Some of that is why you get your price difference too, is the way that ceramic ring is held into the guides.
Not just glued in with some Elmer's glue.
Yeah, it's not just like glue. Some only like they'll. It's only like one ring inside that holds it in, so you can like pop it in from the bottom, but you could push it out from the top. Like it won't go up through. Like you can't push it up through. It won't go down through. And then some are held different ways. It's pretty interesting how the different designs of guides are. Mr. Tom, I spent like 2 hours talking to him about guides one time. It was pretty sweet.
Every time you go over there, you ended up getting schooled on some stuff that just like awesome information that Mr. Tom knew, man. I never went there and picked up a rod and was there for less than an hour, ever.
Mr. Tom was a massive loss to the fishing community, and he's definitely very, very missed. And the guy was just, man, the knowledge that guy had, and how willing he was to share his knowledge with other people was really cool. He was really into getting youth into bass fishing.
Yep.
That was one of his big things. So definitely a moment to think about Mr. Tom for a second. And
He also built,
rest in peace, Mr. Tom.
It's a huge loss, man. It really is.
Big time.
he used almost exclusively St. Croix blanks.
Yep.
Which
I still have
always loved.
yeah.
I got a chatterbait rod in the bottom of my boat that I need to put a reel on from him.
What's
beautiful
Murphy
rod.
talking
It's
about?
built
Murphy's
on a-
talking
there's a
about
plane
some
crash in
crazy
Philly.
shit right now. Murphy said plane crashed in Philly. What's that all about?
I saw it on
Somebody
Facebook.
else just freaking-
small plane. Apparently, a small plane crashed in Philly. I don't know
We had
exactly
some
what.
guy literally commented on our kick stream, and he says, "Yo, an airplane just crashed and exploded outside my house."
Wow. It's crazy.
And I said, "Oh no," because I thought he was joking. But like, what? How's this happening 2 days apart?
Is it? I mean, how often do plane crashes actually?
There is so many questions. Like from the military standpoint,
Are we gonna get into that? Because that is going to that doesn't just happen.
I'm not gonna get into that.
I know accidents happen, but that doesn't just happen.
I'm not going to get into that because I've flown in Blackhawks before, and I can tell you that there are so many factors.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are flying at night. They're flying under night vision. If you ever worn night vision, like you can see, but you can't see. You know what I mean? Like you can. It's just, I don't know, man. Like it's very weird how the whole thing. It's very unfortunate.
There was a lack of communication or a miscommunication somewhere.
Well, I mean, they were flying. From what I understand, they were flying in airspace that they weren't supposed to be in. Period. Because they were in the landing zone for the freaking airport.
Yeah.
So they were in the airspace, but not really. So they were in the airspace, but they weren't at the correct altitude.
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
The airspace that they were in was authorized, but the altitude that they were in was incorrect.
So like the east, west, northeast, that dimension, they were in the right spot, like that zone, but.
So and like it's so like the Monday morning quarterbacking that's going on for this is.
I'm
is
sorry.
I'm
sorry to hear that, little John. That's really sad.
Like Jim said, small planes go down a lot, and that's what it was in Philly. I think there were 2 people in the plane, so it was probably like a little
Cessna or something. Yeah,
which they do crash a lot.
Yeah, but
unfortunately,
I mean, I don't know, man. Like it's interesting with what's going on. And like I said, I've flown in Blackhawks a couple times, and I've never one time felt unsafe in them. A lot of those aviators, especially from the Army side, they do a lot of stuff to make sure that stuff that is safe. I've never flown in a Black Hawk at night, but I have worn nods, and I will tell you that, like, it's not COD. Like, you can't see what you think you can see in nods. It's it's a thing, man. It's a hell of a thing, and it's unfortunate that it happens, but it does unfortunately happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm curious to see what comes out of it. I'm curious to see what caused the issue, and the fact of the matter is, the issue may be a human error, and if that's the way it is, then we have to accept it because it happens.
Yeah, John, there have been a few crashes at Aladino, usually involving drunk people trying to fly planes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty wild how that whole thing went down. We talked about it. We've actually it's been a subject at work this week because it hits close to home. When the whole thing happened, I remember hearing about it. I was like, damn, I hope that wasn't one of our guys because the guard we're in this area flying quite a bit. Sure. I'm not happy it happened. I'm happy it wasn't us because I know a lot of those aviators. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Fortunate, not happy. Just fortunate it wasn't somebody that you knew.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean that stuff does happen. I mean, and it just goes to show you that when you're any type of equipment, whether it's a Black Hawk helicopter, a bass boat, like shit can happen. Like shit can happen quick, and if you're not on your game, man, like. It just exemplifies the margin for error, man. It's crazy. Do we think there will be structure for fish? Oh my God.
It was in like 25 feet, so probably not.
No, and they're probably gonna remove it all from the water too.
Yeah,
I'm sure if it hasn't been removed already, I'm sure it's already been yanked.
What a morbid but appropriate question.
Right.
Also, where that stretch of river is, there's no way you're getting a boat anywhere near that.
What are you talking about?
Reagan?
Yeah.
That's all zoned off, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, we fish by Reagan all the time.
No.
Where the crash happened? By the landing strip?
Yeah.
Dude,
are you sure?
You're like one of the best spawning areas on the Potomac's Quantico
You gotta think,
Lagoon.
dude, you can literally take a boat across a shooting range for
Pentagon Lagoon.
grounds too.
No shit.
You can go right into Pentagon Lagoon.
You think when they do testing at APG, they're like shooting across the freaking Bush River.
Well, APG is different.
Planes land into Reagan all the time, right over top of you. And
the reason why APG is different is because there's legitimately just shit that you don't want to touch. Like if there's shit over there that if you kick it wrong and it goes off, you're done. and every ounce of your being that's ever been is uncollectible. We'll put it that way. But wow, I didn't know that. I thought I could have sworn that. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of
There's like Quantico.
yeah, like near the Pentagon and stuff.
Well,
That's
no,
all.
Pentagon, you can't like right in the like Pentagon Lagoon. Like that's like you can go in there and fish.
Really?
It's not a big deal.
I'm surprised. I don't know why. I thought all that stuff was.
The only place that's really off limits on the river is Quantico. Down farther down.
Brian
Which is
said,
down-
"I'm happy
Like Quantico
somebody
Creek,
else said it. I'll be looking
no
for
like
it."
Quantico, like the Quantico base.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is down past Quantico Creek.
But you can. Oh yeah. But you can go. But like you can go in Quantico Creek all day. I've been in there 100
Quantico
times.
Creek-
I've never caught a fish in there, by the way, which is weird.
Dude, they were stacked in there this fall.
Yeah,
Like
I
in
heard
September.
that. I fished the hell out of it in April. I never caught fish in there. I tried, man. I really did.
Certain places. There's certain places in there you have to look for.
This is very shallow towards the back too. I'll be right back. Speaking
Yeah,
of
I
back.
definitely agree. Not everything needs to be a freaking conspiracy, but it's definitely weird.
Yeah, I don't buy into most conspiracies because if you start looking into it, like
Take it easy, Little John. Take it easy.
they leave open the conspiracies leave open questions that the person conveying the conspiracy wants you to answer yourself, right? So it's like a gaping hole, but they want to provide you just enough information that you're like, oh, that could have been this. So like you just make a lot of assumptions about things that things that happen, but that's the whole that's conspiracy theories. Now
I also
not saying
think
that some
there's
conspiracy-
a lot of science and common sense that goes into some of that stuff as well.
I don't think there's very much common sense that goes into it. I do think that there is some science that goes into some.
There
of
is
it,
a lot of
but-
common sense things that happen around here that the media just tries to make really stupid.
Oh, I wouldn't. I've
Yes.
never ran into something that's I would consider common sense. But
That is something that the world lacks way too much of,
Yeah.
is common sense.
Which is
and there's
why-
a lot of people, like anything political right now that you pretty much watch, you can go on there and be like, well, logically, that is kind of stupid.
John says new topic. All right, I think we should get into the last topic. I'm not going to give it away.
Let's talk about this.
Well,
We may, or Tony may, Tony's on a roll. He's on a roll.
I'm working.
He's on
Wheeling
fire.
and dealing. Wheeling and dealing.
He's on fire.
if you
Yeah.
if you look around, that you see, you may see some people in some new bass boats,
Yeah.
some new brands of bass boats.
So I made a phone call allegedly.
Common sense ended with Gen X. Yeah, we can agree with that.
I made a phone call allegedly yesterday.
Allegedly.
And I allegedly talked to somebody, and I allegedly set up an interview for a bass boat company. I won't say who.
Did you actually call them?
I
Allegedly.
did.
Internet. Well, look, see, this is Tony's
Could
dedication
you
to bass and
understand
beer.
them?
He
Yes.
is.
We
They
spoke
s-
German for a while, actually.
Yeah. You realize
kinda
that
That's kind of cool.
you realize that like 90% of the world speaks English, right? Like we
What?
just don't speak other languages.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, actually.
90% of the world speaks English. We don't speak other languages.
Yes, like if you go to Europe,
Yeah,
you can.
I mean-
if you go to Europe, you can just speak
It makes
English. and
sense.
you're
We're the
good.
most powerful country
you
in the
get-
world. You should speak our language.
You can go to France and you can speak like French, German,
English.
English. Well, like you can speak like 4 different languages and people will understand you. Like you come here and somebody says "see" and you're like,
Oh,
I
my
don't
goodness.
see what.
Ironically enough, so I allegedly made the
my.
phone. I allegedly made a phone call, and I allegedly set up an interview from a. And I'm this is where I'm going to stop.
Brenna allegedly needs some glasses.
Yeah. Oh God. But I talked to a guy who is if not the owner, like very very high up in a company that is a bass boat company that is not produced in the United States of America. Now we saw a certain pro with the initials Delta Delta. That's DD for you civilian types,
DD, nice.
right?
Is that what that means, little buddy?
So the David Dudley
think she's
is
hot.
put it this way: David Dudley's running one of their boats,
Me too.
And so David Dudley's running one of their boats. I saw the post, and I've heard of the company before, so I just hit him up. And then about 5 minutes later, I got a message, and it said, "Hey, can we have a phone call?" And I said, "Well, yeah, we can have a phone call. We're working on an interview. We're working on a lot of stuff. I think if I play my cards right, we're going to see, hopefully, these boats that I won't mention in person."
So wait, are we announcing it tonight or not?
No, we're going to announce it later. But we're going to see these boats in person.
We're going to talk about what it is.
We're going to see these boats in person.
And I'm going to give a hint that only some nerds will get.
Yes. Put it this way.
It's a foreign company.
These guys, the way they build these boats, are going to be able to outsell, price point wise, everybody, because where they're located, they don't have the laws when it comes to fiberglass and material and sourcing that in the United States that we have to deal with. So they're able to build a boat at a much cheaper price point and sell it, even in the United States, at a much cheaper price point,
or at least at a competitive price.
It's cheaper than competitive. Yeah, it's and that's what we talked about on the call the other day. And he was like, "If I can get in on this market, I can outsell everyone because of my price point, because I don't have to the rules and regulations that are involved with fiberglassing now.
It's all in the manufacturing of it. Right?
Yes, they don't have to pay for." Basically, when the EPA gets involved in fiberglass and resin, it makes things more expensive. And now this company I've been talking to, they don't deal with that because they're not based in the United States. So they can build their boat how they want. They're basically able to build the boat on the same... Yes, Jim is correct.
Jim always comes in with some heaters, dude.
They're basically about to build the boat or they are building the boat with the same restrictions and or lack thereof that American companies have been building boats in the 90s. So, and I talked to John about this at JCS, and as soon as I talked to John, he was like, "Please set this up, because I can tell you right now that these guys are building boats the way that they're supposed to be built because they can."
They don't have the standards of the United States of America.
Right.
So my hint is the
Sambuki.
The name of this boat company could be found in the movie Starship Troopers.
That's a huge hint. I've never seen Starship Troopers, but I already know what we're talking about too, so it's kind of biased.
I'm pretty excited for this. I'm not
You've never
gonna
seen
lie.
Starship? How have you never seen Starship Troopers?
I don't know. I just
That
haven't
movie
seen it.
is right up your alley.
Is it really? So I should watch it.
It's a cheesy alien
You
military
go home
movie
and
Okay, I might have to watch it.
with a lot of titties.
So Dustin
this is
said
the end of his comment.
Dustin said cat but not bass. No, dude, we got to hook. We got to hook. We got to.
No, he's.
Oh, dude, actually, yes.
Yeah, he knows. He knows what he's talking about.
Dustin's comment, cat but not bass, is very, very
delete,
leading.
Delete
Delete!
Dustin's comment.
We're deleting Dustin's comment.
Delete it. Dustin, you're banned.
Dustin's close. Dustin's very close.
Breaking out the ban hammer here.
So so they're in a different time zone, so it's a little challenging to set things up. And these guys are very, very busy. They're extremely busy building these boats, and they're working on getting over to the United States and figuring that out. But I talked to the guy. We had a very good conversation. It's going to be a great interview, and I really think we're going to actually have a chance to not only see the boats, but we might be the guys that get them in the U.S. market.
Maybe. What would they might be able to hook us up with their touring pro to actually talk about
Yes.
Talk about how it fishes, So maybe
I think that would
have
be. I actually thought about that. That is a great idea.
So I'm going to leave it at that. As of right now, and I'm not promising anything because a lot of things can happen, but we have an interview that we're working towards. We also, if things go well, I have a dealer for these guys set up for when they're ready to jump in the U.S. market. We can make it happen. So it's a tall order, but we're going to see if we can make it happen. And if it does happen, we're going to be the first ones there to check it out.
Bass and Beer Radio is here to play the game, baby.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I'm very excited about it.
We got definitely have some pretty big plans for the future here coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to say this, and I don't want to put the man's business out there, but the gentleman we had on last week, Mr. Jeff from Avid Boats, if you guys watched last week, please say a quick prayer for Jeff. He's having some medical problems, not super serious, but just keep him in your thoughts because he's got some things going on, and we want to make sure that we're thinking of him because he definitely
He gave us a great interview.
He gave us a really good interview, and we were very excited and lucky to have him on. So if you get a chance before your head hits a pillow tonight, think of that man because he didn't have to come on and give us his time last night.
Yep.
I talked to him today, and he let me know he's got some things going on. So we just want to keep him in our thoughts and make sure that he feels supported.
We have a few good guests lined up. In the pipeline coming up.
Did we announce yet?
We have some boat builders.
Yep.
We have Ardent, which we'll have on the 28th. Right?
28th. Yep.
We have a bait company.
What's up, Steven?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
We actually have a couple of bait companies. We just have to figure out a date with Andrew to get him on.
What's up, Josh? Thanks for joining, bro.
We have another bait company that's starting to get relatively, starting to take off. It started as a very small, very small company, like single person, and has started to take off. Has some sponsored pros and things like that starting to work their way into that world, like touring pros, not just promotional staff.
Right.
Professionals, not promotional.
There's a big difference between those two. Huge difference.
So a couple of bait companies that we're gonna have coming out for you. Got some people to talk about reels. Got some people to talk about boats. And who knows what else we're gonna find.
The reel cast off I'm pretty excited about too. That'll be fun.
Look for that video. But we're gonna try to do that next weekend if the weather cooperates with us. See if we can't do that next weekend.
I want to reiterate with everybody that one of the things that Bass and Beer Radio does is we love to interview everybody in the marine and the bass fishing industry. From boat restoration companies to new companies to bait companies to
pros,
people that clean reels, people that make rods, professional interviews. We really like to get out there and try to cover all general aspects of the bass fishing community and the marine industry, all the way to batteries, trolling motors, sonar, which that goes beyond bass fishing. Everybody uses that for different things. Mm-hmm. But I just want to put that out there again that we love JCS Marine, we love restoration companies, we love talking to new boat companies. We love everybody and support everybody.
We just want to provide you guys, the viewers, with as much information as possible,
so you guys can make an educated decision on where you want to spend your money.
Yep,
that's really what it comes down to.
That's the whole point, and we're finding here over time that we really enjoy interviewing companies and different people and bringing different aspects from all over the industry to you guys, and that's what we're going to continue to drive home in the future.
And apparently our viewers want us to interview hookers.
Yes. We'll just go to what's the Bass Beer Radio live at Hooters.
We could do that.
That'd be awesome. That'd be hilarious. We just gotta find we gotta do it on a Tuesday night when they're not busy.
I could definitely get us connected with a local coffee shop, probably.
A coffee shop?
Yeah.
Is it what type of coffee shop?
Delicious coffee.
Is that the name of it?
No.
Is it just delicious?
No.
I didn't know if that was the name or.
What's that coffee shop that came around where they have all the girls are in bikinis and stuff selling the coffee? It's a thing.
I
just heard about that.
Boobs and coffee?
I don't know. It's something like that.
No, I would like that.
Bikini baristas.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one in Maryland, right?
I don't think there's one in Maryland. The one that I always see is in Arizona or something.
Oh, okay.
What's the name of that coffee company?
Jim says Bikini Bean.
Nice.
Yeah, I think there's a few of them. There's a few different ones around. But yeah, the Bikini Baristas that's a thing.
Be late for work every morning. Damn it.
Do they give tuggies?
Java Divas.
Only if your name's Justin Tugger.
Oh, dude. Too soon.
God damn.
Too soon.
Dang. It's not proven.
I mean, Deshaun.
Why does all this happen 8 years afterwards?
That's what I'm saying. It's sus. I'm sorry. It's
okay.
Sus.
Oh, so never mind. I won't get into that. You know what? I'm an equal opportunity hater.
Yeah.
I was giving it to Deshaun Watson as soon as it came out. I'm going to give it to Justin Tucker as soon as it comes out.
At least you're honest and you're consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're pretty excited about this. We're gonna have the boat company on in the next couple of weeks. We don't have a date lined up, but we're gonna talk about them. We're gonna talk to the guys that work on them. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh, so Josh was saying, got to get Chad out there with his short shorts for the smuggling beans company. What about the mean? Hey, what about the mean bean? Don't forget about the mean bean.
Oh, do not forget about the.
So
how can you
guys,
forget about the mean bean? My actual nose has not recovered from that yet.
On that Justin Tucker thing, on a more serious note, that was almost a rape charge, right?
I did not know that. I haven't been following it.
Yeah, but he missed wide left.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That was a pretty good one, actually. Oh dear.
God.
Oh my goodness.
I thought we had some type of factual information coming in here.
I did too. Damn.
Sorry,
right after him.
I'm an asshole.
Oh man. But anyway, so once we get a date lined up, we're going to announce it. And hopefully you guys join us because I know you're going to have lots of questions. And we're gonna ask them all the questions. And I really think if we set this up to do it right, we're gonna get a chance to crawl in one of these things and check them out, which I think will be pretty cool. It may or may not be happening at JCS Marine. I won't say that for sure, but we're gonna try to make it happen and see what we can do. But yeah, that's most of what we had to cover tonight.
Get you out there in your short shorts.
I'll pull up, sack out, and everything.
Banana hammock.
I ain't even scared, bro.
Rocking that.
Is
banana
that what
hammock.
you guys want to do for one of the openings down at JCS? You just want me to sit outside in a banana hammock with one of those freaking signs that you spin around?
American flag banana hammock.
I'll sit out on the main road with a JCS T-shirt on and a banana hammock.
But you gotta get one of the big signs with the big JCS Marine sign, just like
Just spinning it.
Twirl it around and helicopter my wee wee at the same time.
oh my god. Oh my god. That'd be funny.
And we're banned.
And we're banned.
But yeah, we're working on some stuff. We're trying to get some new people in here and have these conversations for you guys, so you guys get a chance to not only hear them but ask their questions. I really think we had a. Oh my god, internet's undefeated.
Zach, you are awesome.
I really think we had a good conversation. Can you send me that? I think we had a good. I think we had a good conversation last week with Avid Boats. They talked about a lot of stuff that I did not expect, like the dual welding, the welding on both sides of the weld. I thought that was actually really, really neat. Josh, if you were able to watch that with us, I can't remember if you were on or not. What did you think of that? You're one of the best welders we've ever seen. So what was your opinion that they weld their boats on the inside and the outside?
Coming from somebody that does work for a pipe fitting welding union, his welds are beautiful.
Yeah, Josh's welds are
his TIG weld is like, it looks like a freaking machine did it.
You know what I want to talk
Because the
about?
man is a machine.
You know what I want to talk about?
He's a well-oiled, highly educated
Yes.
machine, which is pretty interesting.
You know what I want to talk about for the rest of the night is I want to talk about Mega Live 2.
Josh was impressed with what they do. Speaking of Avid Boats.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I thought their welding was actually really, really neat how they did it, and it's definitely going to be strong. And he was talking about the thickness of the metal that they use. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Quarter inch aluminum all the way around.
Eighth inch.
I thought he said quarter. No,
I think it was eighth. Yep.
Transom's quarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so we talked about Mega Live. We did a show probably 2 months ago, and we talked about when the Humminbird got rid of their Helix units. They discontinued the Solix units as well, and they came out with the Explorer, and they came out with the Mega Live 2. And a lot of you guys were kind of like, some of you were like, hey, this is great, and some of you were like, man, screw them. My Helix is basically an antique now, and blah, 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 blah. So I want to talk about Mega Live for a second because now I have not seen it in person. I've seen a good video. I thought was a good video on YouTube. I might have to find it and share it after this.
It's a pretty good comparison.
So the video that I saw on YouTube, it was these guys that
I'd still have it, but
yeah.
I wouldn't tell anyone.
So these guys that had a video and they had a
fat chick on a moped.
Oh my god. They had an LVS 34 and then they had Mega Live 2 and they were doing side-by-side comparisons where they were throwing a bait out and you had one screen was LVS 34 and one screen was the Mega Live 2. And now, yes, I'm sure they did their homework and got them dialed in, and they were getting the best picture they could out of them. From my perspective, watching the video, having not seen Mega Live 2 in action, I thought it was a serious upgrade for Mega Live 1, and I thought it was comparable and competitive with what's out now compared to the 34 and Active Target 2.
Speaking of Active Target 2, Jim said Josh Jones did a small review on all three. He said it's okay, but still not as good as Garmin LVS 34. I also take what Josh Jones says as with a grain of salt, because he says that Active Target 2 is the best of the three, and I've used Active Target 2, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Active Target.
But
The
why
beam
is
is
that?
just too small. It's very hard to find your bait with Active Target. It really is. It really is.
I think they've made Active Target is.
They just kind of been there.
I think it's to par with Garmin.
I think it's just kind of there.
In what I've seen, I think there's differences in it, and I think to say that
I
think to say that somebody like Josh Jones is like lying or doesn't know what he's talking about when he's probably somebody that has the most time on LiveScope in the world is, you know what I mean?
But if you go back a few years,
he's not sponsored by any
You'll also
of them.
find a video of him completely destroying Garmin because they wouldn't sponsor him.
He's not sponsored by any of them,
right?
So
But
he uses and reviews.
he
what
stopped
he thinks
using.
is great.
He said on a video he stopped using Garmin because he asked for a free unit and they said no. He's like, so I just won't use them anymore.
Okay.
So to me, that's a bias. That shows a bias.
That's also like, in my opinion, from somebody that could never ask.
If he's not sponsored and he chooses what units he think is best and he uses low rants, I don't think he's lying.
So why
does Lawrence give him a free unit though?
So here,
What's he's not sponsored by any of them, so no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
so
true.
here is my counter to that. Why did nearly every Lowrance Pro, touring pro,
Run a Garmin?
that does this switch from Lowrance to Garmin? Like,
It's a good point.
they all switched. One person says it's better.
I can't tell you. I'm not.
I mean, but to be fair,
I can only make the.
You know what I'm saying? That's
what things that I see on the internet happening, and Josh Jones is definitely well
Jeff
known
Gustafson
for
did
his,
win a classic on Mega Live 1 though.
he did.
So it, yeah, I see the points being made, but like Garmin's still the leader in my opinion. Because here's the thing, like everyone's chasing Garmin. Everyone.
We see even Josh says,
Yeah,
I don't
could-
buy that he's
I
not
could-
sponsored by Lowrance.
I could also buy that too. That he's not. You know, he's just like keeping it under the table. I don't know.
I've used Active Target 2. I have a Garmin, LVS 34. The picture image on the LVS 32 looks like trash. Maybe for what he does.
Do you mean Active Target 2?
Active Target 2, not
Okay.
Live Target. Did I say Live
I
Target?
was
said
gonna say.
LVS
I was like,
I
damn
have
it,
an
because
LVS 34.
Okay.
I meant Active Target 2 versus my LVS 34. The picture quality looks like garbage, and it's hard. It's really hard to do.
It's hard to find your bait with it.
It's hard to determine, like screen clutter and fish, like especially at longer distances. Now, when you find your bait, again, hard to find your bait. Because it's a narrow cone, which is fine. That comes with experience. Like
we
you're
got
gonna
Matt
learn what that
Downs
is.
with Trick Tins in the house. Thanks
What's
for
up,
joining,
man?
Matt.
But it does give you a brighter return on your bait because of the narrower cone.
Right.
So that I will say that it's definitely, once you find your bait, it shows up better. But I'm just like, to me, like, again, personal opinion. If it makes me hard to believe what he says, based off of personal experience using both.
Yeah.
Matt, what have you been up to, brother?
Yeah, haven't seen you around in a while. He
Fill
must be
us
busy.
in on what you got going on, how you been, what you're up to, what your future plans are. Let us get an update.
But
Jim Fallon makes a good point there. All phone companies compare their phones to iPhone, so tells you iPhone's the best. Same with forward-facing sonar.
yeah, I agree. I
If
mean,
everybody's comparing to
Garmin,
Garmin, then that's a good way to think about it.
You want us to send you a link, Matt?
a point that I had before we went live, and Paul and I agreed on this, is that where we fish, because really in this area, when you're using forward mode, really what it comes down, like for us, you have, in order to really see the difference between LVS 34 and
agree,
Mega
Josh.
Live 2, you have to have, in my opinion, really good conditions. Where we fish, we have a lot of current. We don't have the water clarity. I don't think you're going to really be able to tell a huge difference between LVS 34 and Mega Live 2 on a place like Conowingo. Now, you go to Lake Anna, I think you're going to see a difference.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get, and it may be the opposite. It may be that because we have the dirty water, that the LVS 34 is just going to be that much better.
That's possible too. Yeah.
Lou, new
Lou
battery.
said-
He's going to switch in at Garmin, and Salt Licks is over to 16 volt 100 amp hour. Nice. Let me know how that works out. I still need to get with you, Lou. I want to talk to you more about that 16 volt.
I wonder what the battery
What up, Lou?
I wonder what the battery consumption is like on the Explorer units versus having a black box.
Probably, I mean, when I looked at like the amp draw of a black box, it's not that much. So it's probably like the difference between going from a Helix to a Solix. There's like.
I just wonder what the
amp draw.
comparison is for guys that are
Can you hear me at Mountain Dew?
yeah for Mountain Dew. You said
It's in the door.
for guys that are running like maybe don't have the best battery setup, or maybe you're running your live scope off your cranking battery like I did for a year. That was definitely like a consideration. Is I couldn't run my live scope as long as I wanted to because it would kill my cranking battery. So I wonder if you could do that on the Explorer and not have to worry about it.
Oh, it's definitely going to be more higher. It's got more processing power. So more computing power plus a higher definition screen is going to equal more battery draw.
Is there a selling point to guys that don't have anything? Let's say you don't have Panoptics, you don't have Mega Live. Is there a selling point to getting a live scope unit without a black box?
Depends. The only selling point that I could have is if you already have Lowrance or you already have Hummingbird, and you have a newer, say you got an Apex, you have an Apex 13, or you have a Gen 3 Solix. That's the only selling point that I could think of.
Yeah,
because then you're just buying, you're not. You don't have to buy a unit and your forward-facing sonar. You're just buying your forward-facing sonar.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think the
Lou, he's going to go to a new battery setup in the boat,
Yeah, he's got all lithiums now.
right?
He
Hell
just
yeah,
got 'em the other day.
Good.
I think-
You'll love that.
I think the whole selling point of no black box, like, to me, it doesn't really do it for me. I mean, the black box is you fire and forget. You mount it one time.
It's not that big of a deal.
And it's not like install's difficult.
Right. It's really not.
I remember that, Lou. That's why I asked. I remember when I was getting ready to leave, you actually pulled out. But did you leave after that, or did he fish the next day after like charging up, or
What
No,
battery
he
did
left
you
the next
kill?
day.
left the next day?
What battery did you kill, and what was your setup? Was it your cranking battery that you were running stuff off of, or did you have a house battery? Because
He had everything ran into a cranking battery.
was it a lithium? Probably not. It was. I'm just curious. What was your battery? And because I've run that Amped Outdoors battery with my LVS 32, and I've had no problems with it. I really like it.
Yeah, I totally agree, Josh, because the guys who use Active Target are sponsored by 100% sponsored by Lowrance. They're running Lowrance units, Active Target 2, Lowrance Ghost.
Yeah.
Like they're all in Lowrance. Like your Justin Lucas's, your Edwin Evers, those types of people.
I don't love the Ghost at all.
I've used it. I used it on Mike Power's old boat and hated it.
Yeah, I
Hated the foot pedal.
Me and my buddy, we were fishing the St. Lawrence River when I was up there last summer, and we fished the St. Lawrence River probably 3 or 4 days in a row. And that Lowrance Ghost would not stow. It would not. He wrestled with it every single day to get it to stow. And he said that trolling motor itself had been back to the factory 3 times.
Did you take your big meat with you?
Nice.
Did you take your big meat with you, Lou?
But the Ghost, he said that trolling motor had been back to the factory multiple times, and it was just they were not fixing it. Which to me is like, I don't know what the Ghost costs, but I assume it's comparatively priced to like the Ultrex and the Force.
Yeah.
So like at that point, why would you buy anything
It's like
else?
$3,700.
Like, why would you even mess with that? I mean, is it that
Real
much?
thick.
Like, and here's the other thing too, is like all these people that are saying, oh, well, if I get a Ghost, I can't mount my transducer to my Humminbird on it. Yes, you can.
Why couldn't you?
Well, so I actually ran into an issue when I was mounting my Helix transducer to my Ultrex Quest, because they actually, compared to the Fortrex and the Ultrex Quest, it's a shorter unit. Like the motor is shorter, so it's not flush. So it has a little bit of an angle. So I started looking into it, and I found a company called
Transducer Shield and Saver.
Yep.
I'm sure me and Kevin probably told you about them prior when you were talking about that.
You might have, but
You told me about them when I was looking for.
I found them on.
They're the shit when it comes to transducer mounts.
Yep. So I found them, and I got a bracket. It was like,
did you get a jack plate mount for it?
No, I'm talking about the trolling motor.
Did you
mount.
get a jack plate mount for your rear, or did you just drill it into the?
I had one already.
Yeah, okay.
It came with the bullet when I bought it. Surprisingly,
You got the first Ghost that you're installing. You haven't installed a Ghost before.
You got a jack plate transducer mount for the transducer that you.
It's homemade, but yes.
I made I made one of my Champion out of angle aluminum.
Yep, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And it's not the prettiest thing, but it works. Yeah. I mean, it's going to do the job. So
I even took out a file and like rounded the corners on everything, so like it looked nice.
Yeah. So it's not the prettiest thing, but it works for what it is.
Josh, negatives is the Ultrex. Wait, negatives the other trolling motors. Tons of other shit.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with you. Now, I'm pretty uneducated on the Garmin Force, but it seems like the only reason to use a Garmin Force is if you have Garmin units.
I mean, it's brushless. It's not a bad.
That's how I feel about both the Ghost and the Force. There's no reason to use them unless you're just going to go low rants or Garmin for everything. Other than that, just get an Ultrex.
Yeah.
The Ghost isn't a bad trolling motor. Dave has one, and he likes it, and he hasn't had any issues with it. It's really, really powerful. But I also Ken Eng had.
Matt says he likes the Garmin Force a lot,
and he had issues from the start. And yes, the foot pedal was shit. It's way too narrow. There's you end up hitting fucking buttons when you don't want to. I'm not a big fan of the. I like it better than the Lowrance foot pedal. That Lowrance foot pedal sucks.
I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see where the power pull move is in terms of sales and the longevity of how long that is going to be on the market. Because, in my opinion, the only thing it really has is the weight reduction.
Yeah.
I mean, the reverse feature just doesn't do it for me.
They're really, really strong, Matt. Like the Force is one of those motors that I've never even used one, but from what I hear, that just
if you're comparing
it's
it
a
to
power horse.
If you're comparing it to the original Ultrex,
it's a workhorse.
It's definitely better than the regular Ultrex. If you're comparing it to the Quest, like I'll take my Quest over that any day.
How come we haven't seen anybody recommend the Move though?
Because it's $5,000.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I put it this way: everybody I know that has one has had problems. Everyone I know that has one has had
Frank
problems.
has problems, right?
But they love it when it works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lou said a Fortrex allows you to be sneaky with the FFS. I'm curious about that. Like, why? I'm very,
What's
very
the
curious.
difference?
Josh says fishing a team tournament with my cousin, and I gave up running his Force. He'd retie, and I'd tell him to just spot lock.
It just felt like I'm good.
What really bothered me. What bothered me with the Force is when I was using the Force on a couple of my buddies' boats, we were up on the St. Lawrence and Black Lake. The head unit doesn't turn. There's an arrow that that's on the Ghost. Yes, sorry, the Ghost. And I just I couldn't do it. Like,
that makes it really hard to use forward facing sonar.
That's how it works on the Ultrex.
No, the
whole head
on
on the
Ultrex.
Yes, it does.
So they actually
your Fortrex is like that.
Yes.
The Fortrex, but not the Quest.
No, not the Quest.
So when using forward-facing sonar, it makes it a little more difficult. They actually, one of the companies actually
probably, Matt. I agree. It's not going to go down much though.
They made an arrow that mounts on. So the Ghost is kind of made like a Fortrex, right? It's got like that stationary tube, and then the bottom part of the motor moves. So they made an arrow that goes on the bottom part of that motor that it sits like just above water level and like just points wherever it's going. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So when I'm out of my 32 last weekend,
quieter movements.
it's definitely like
That makes a lot of sense because you don't have the
Get a Quest.
electric. You don't have the electric motor in there.
Now all I got to do is
My Quest is quiet as fuck.
all I got to do is bend the bracket a little bit, but like the bracket when I mounted mine, my live scope transducer is just a little bit off to the right with the Quest.
Yes.
So
you are correct, Matt.
Yes.
Josh says response on the pedal was sluggish. I felt like I was running an excavator. It wouldn't stop quietly and took a bit to catch up.
I've noticed that with both using the Force and the Ultrex, or not the Ultrex, the Ghost.
Is the move strictly electronic, or does it have a cable backup as well?
No, it's completely wireless pedal.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it like the Altera though? Like
No,
that
no.
thing
It's
just I can't do that.
It's still like a regular like cable driven pedal.
Okay.
But it is completely wireless.
Yeah, like the Altera and the Tarova. Oh my god, I can't
Say like I've used the move. No, like when it works, it's a great. It is an it's a great unit. Like it's a great trolling motor when it works. But one issue that doesn't really have to do with all the other issues that we've heard with like the electronic port components of it is with the way that the shaft is clamped in, it'll unalign itself every now and then. So your foot pedal doesn't line up with where your trolling motor is pointing.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
That's
because
weird.
the shaft will twist in the mount.
That's weird. So
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. The foot
I agree
pedal
with
is
that.
shit.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like I remember when I used to fish the reservoirs, the guy I used to fish with, he had an Altera, and I never could get used to it. I had a lot of hours fishing the front of that boat, and I could never get used to that thing.
Yeah, they're terrible. I don't know how Chad dealt with it on his John boat.
It's still on there, right?
Yeah, I don't know how he could. Like I can. He used the remote for just about everything. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I have a rod and a reel handle in my hand at all times.
Yeah.
So I need to be able to steer with my foot.
Yeah,
And not have to look at the trolling motor to know where I'm going.
Right. Well, the worst part about the Altera is when the battery would start getting any bit of low at all, it wouldn't respond to the movements on the pedal at all, and it was just so frustrating. Jim says, give it time, power pole, work the bugs out of it, make it badass. I think they will improve it. I mean, for sure. I'm just like, to me, I don't see the point of getting one when you can get an Ultrex Quest that's going to be comparable in terms of power. It doesn't have the reverse feature, and it has all the features of the Ultrex that we all love.
So me and Frank, to get fish together for a week, asked me how many times we use that reverse feature.
0?
0.
I mean, what's the price point on that feature? If they take the reverse out of the power pole move, how much?
It's a brushless. I mean, it's just essentially all it's doing is reversing polarity.
Right.
So I'm just spins it backwards.
I don't know, man. Like it, and we talked to Mr. Herb on Conowingo, and he puts a lot of time on his boat, and he loved the pole, he loved the move, he said it was great, but he also had problems.
That is the best forward-facing sonar pointer ever.
What is it?
Seth Fider had one of his friends made him a pointer for his Ultrex or his Garmin or whatever he's using now. It's a giant Marlboro Red.
Really?
It just looks like a big cigarette sticking off of his trolling motor.
That's pretty awesome.
It's amazing.
Do they sell these? Jim said $3. Do they sell these things? Is that a thing? 'Cause I'm kind of curious now. I'll get one. Matt says, I run an Altera and I'm used to it. I launch my boat solo and deploy it. No dock lines going on 3 years.
Does the Altera have the automatic deploy?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Tarova is the one that doesn't. The Tarova is the same thing. It just doesn't have the auto deploy. Murphy's old boat, if he's still watching, had a Tarova. And again, I don't like the Tarova or the Altera. I never got used to the foot pedal. And I can only imagine how horrible that would be with forward-facing sonar when you just can't pinpoint where you're trying to get that head to go. That would be. That's the one thing I really liked about running like a Fortrex or a Maxim. That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's cool. Freaking John says he's making grilled cheese, and Josh asked him if he's making them at night.
Nice.
No, he's making them during the day.
He's making them at night. I know he is.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere that I launch, like I have power poles. Like I just drop the poles. I haven't launched at a boat ramp where I couldn't just launch the boat, drop power poles, and like run off. Maybe I could get my feet wet. If there's no dock, but
yeah.
I just barely, when I'm doing it by myself, like I just barely like float the boat off the trailer. So like it'll still hang on the trailer, but it'll come off the front and hang on there.
Right.
And then just put the poles down.
Yeah.
Put the poles down and go, go park.
So the funny thing of it is when I went and picked up the Ranger last weekend, and the guy that I took it to, he took the poles off, and he actually hooked all the hoses back up from the Raptors to the pumps, so that way I knew where they were hooked up. So I marked them with tape and everything. And I guess when he put them on one of the pumps, he put them backwards. So I hooked everything up, and I connected the Bluetooth, and I hit down. So I had them halfway down because I lost a little bit of fluid and blah, blah, blah. And I had them halfway down. I hit down on the remote, and one went up and one went down. And I was just like, after wrestling with it all day, I swear to God, I was like, why is this happening? Why? I don't understand.
I think, didn't you have the Ghost, Rodney? I think Rodney had the Ghost, and he went to he bought a Quest. I think he had a lot of issues with his Ghost.
I'm curious. Let us know.
I want to say it was the pedal. I think he was the one that was telling me that it was the pedal.
Yeah.
That he kept hitting like random buttons and shit.
And then you got the Motor Guy Tour Pro.
Matt Down says the self-deployment is pimping. I like it.
Rodney had the Ghost. He had issues with the Ghost. I will say that 5 times his trolling motor was down 5 times. 5 times in the
And that's
shop.
the Ghost. That sounds like my buddy. His was in the shop like 3 or 4, like sent it back to Lawrence.
I remember
like
when
4 times.
I remember Mike Iaconelli was pressing that Ghost so hard when it came out.
A lot of guys are still pressing it hard. I mean, I know a lot of guys that run them and love them. Heading sensor. He had a heading sensor board. Jesus.
That's what I like about the Ultrex is it still has that backup cable steer. So if like all the electronics take a crap, you can still use your trolling motor.
I have I have a Tarova.
You can't use it without the electric assist.
Is that a Quest thing or is that an Ultrex
That's an
thing?
Ultrex thing.
Am I thinking about the Tour Pro then?
Maybe.
Oh.
Because the Quest, it will not turn without the electronic. I mean, it will, but you're gonna jack your pedal up before you turn it with your foot. You can turn it with your hand.
I have a Tarova on the John boat. Love the Tarova. It's a great motor.
Rodney also says the Ghost sucks in the grass.
It's a great motor. However, the electric board and the electric only steering has gone bad, so I've had to have them send me out a new foot pedal before.
I agree, Rodney. Quest is awesome.
What was your customer service experience like with Minn Kota?
My customer experience with Minn Kota was pretty decent. They were definitely. I was at the very end of my warranty, and they still sent me out another one.
Yeah, I've always had.
But
Johnson.
it was good. Yeah. They got back to me pretty quickly and didn't fight me about sending another one.
What would a new pedal cost?
I think the new pedal was like $300 or $400.
Yeah, it was like
Tarova.
It's not hateful, but that's a lot of money. I mean,
At the time, it was a lot of money, and I didn't want to have to spend it. Yeah. And I didn't have another boat at the time too, so that took me out on the John boat. And also, the Tarova pedal has that plug on it. You can unplug it, take the pedal off of it.
Yeah.
Now I take the pedal inside.
I've never heard of anybody having pedal problems with a Maxim or a Fortrex. Just saying.
Well, they're all cable driven shit.
Yeah. Well, I still have the Fortrex.
I ran the Minn Kota Edge for many years.
Did you end up getting the 45 inch or the 52?
52.
Your Fortrex.
He says your spit
right?
cup echoes.
So guess who's buying the 45 112 pound thrust 36 volt Fortrex? You'll never guess who's buying it.
Rob.
No.
That was a great guess.
That was a good guess. That was a good guess.
Nate.
My uncle.
No way.
Oh,
on that little
my
16-foot.
God, dude.
That little 16-foot Skeeter is going to be going like 8 miles an hour on the trolling motor.
I said you're going to be throwing a wake with that thing.
Dude, the shaft is going to be way too long for that thing.
So
What's a 45 on the Four-Trex?
Yeah,
It's a 45?
Yeah. Which is interesting because I think the Minn Kota or the motor guide that he has on it now is like a 30 something. It's like a 38 or something weird.
Probably 42.
Yes, that's what it is.
I think my motor guide was 42.
Yep. So I can't wait to see that.
No.
Yeah, that's going to...
John, which outdoor show? You mean
The Great American Outdoor Show.
He goes out there with like a bag of plastics. He's got all the room in the world to add more batteries.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Garmin, I agree, Matt. Garmin, I had to call them once when I was having issues with my black box, and they were awesome. I mean, like the girl that I talked to, like, you know, we went through a bunch of troubleshooting stuff, and like she, you know, did the typical. Well, we'll send you out some new cables to see if that's the issue, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is just like typical. And then like 15 minutes later,
John.
15 minutes later, she calls me back, and she's like, I thought I remembered you saying you had it wired into a fuse box. I was like, yeah. She's like, can you wire it directly to the battery? I was like, yeah. And she's like, I think the problem is your fuse box. Try wiring it directly to the battery. Wired it directly to the battery, never had a problem.
Really?
Never had a problem after that.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, that is awesome.
When you have contactors and bus bars and all that shit, it adds points of contact to have.
Well, it was just a bad fuse box. You know, the connection in that fuse box was bad, and
That was in the Champion, right?
yeah, and it was getting intermittent voltage.
When is the first tournament of the year?
My first tournament is the 21st of March.
I don't know when mine is, but so the guys in the club, they're
22nd,
finalizing their
21st
schedule
March,
right
something
now.
like
There's a really good chance I'm actually going to fish the SQT team trail this
Are
year.
you?
Hey, thanks for
I
the
would like
like,
to fish
Tony.
that. Yep. I really want to fish that.
I talked to somebody. I talked to Lloyd at one point about the paper club stuff. So and then I talked to somebody else. Maybe it was you.
Probably because I talked about it a couple months ago. We were talking about it.
Did you get into the paper club? Or,
So I have.
so somebody I talked to. It probably wasn't you then. But
I have an in for it. If I decide to go that route, the person I'm potentially thinking about fishing with is already in a paper club, so it's easy.
River Rats.
You talked about
Nitro.
fishing with him earlier in
for
the Nitro.
Paul. River Rats for Paul.
And the Red Nitro Z20.
Oh, John.
Yes.
What are you, Bass
Militia.
Bass Militia for Tony.
Oh, and I'm probably actually going to be able to fish your guys' tournament this year in the spring, which will be fun. Is that the one you were talking about? 21st?
My first TBF tournament's the 21st. That's the 28th or
Okay.
29th or something.
I should be able to fish that. I was talking to Miles about it. Of course,
So
the
the
weekend
flats?
before. Yeah, of course, the weekend before I have drill, so I won't be able to practice, but I might fish anyway just for fun. Which will be.
When do you?
a lot
I
of
mean,
fun.
you'll be off on like Monday, won't you?
Yeah, so I would have one day of practice. I told Miles, I said, if you want to fish it, you better
all you
spend
need.
2 days out there practicing finding the grass because I got a couple areas.
I'll fish it with you.
That would be a lot of fun. I really would like to fish it. I've only ever fished one River Edge
I'll
tournament.
fish it with you.
It's probably 4 years ago.
Rodney says he's ready to get his teeth kicked in on Smith Mountain Lake in March.
Dude, one of the best days I ever had in my life was on Smith Mountain Lake in April.
We should go there.
He is
And
Rodney.
Mall.
Rodney. So Rodney and
Moo
Lou.
Mall. Oh my god.
Rodney and Lou are fishing the.
We're definitely going back to Moo. I definitely going to Moo Mall.
Yeah,
We're
Moo
doing
Mall's
that.
a lot of fun.
They're fishing. Rodney and Lou are fishing the Shenandoah division of the BFLs this year.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Very
Rodney's
cool.
fishing as boater and Blue's going as a rider.
Hey Rodney, have you ever fished Lake Moo Mall down that way towards you in Virginia? Let me know. It's one of my favorite places to fish. I mean, you can go there and catch a ton of smallmouth.
He's like down around Norfolk.
Okay, that's kind of
So he's
far.
kinda down south.
It's a little far. I mean, you could do it in a weekend. I mean, you could do it in a day if you really wanted to. But if I was in that area, I would make it a weekend. If you've ever fished it, let me know. It's one of my favorite places to fish.
I don't even know where
really
Gold
love
You
it.
know,
Really?
that's we say something about Moo Mall. That's the other guy we need to talk to. We need to talk to Jim and set something up. We got to get down to Florida at some point as the Bass and Beer radio crew. Get together with Jim and go down there and fish headwaters and some of the other water down there.
Rodney, have you never fished Moomaw?
Oh, he says very interesting. I can drive.
Dude, Moomaw is a fun place to fish. I go there every year in November, and it is
Really?
a lot of fun.
Rodney, super good smallmouth lake.
Yeah. So what really turned me on to that place, and I've told this story a couple times. I fished it when I was in college at BMI because it was the closest lake. They had a little Sunday trail there, and I didn't really know a whole lot about the lake. It was only my 4th or 5th time fishing it, and I caught a 6'11" largemouth in the tournament. And I was like, well, I'm going to get lunker. I weighed in. I weighed in my lunker, and I had lunker. There were 2 boats that weighed in after me. The guys that weighed in after me weighed in 22 pounds with a 7-pound smallmouth. At the scale, 7-pound smallmouth.
Giant.
The guys after them weighed in 24 pounds with an 8.5-pound largemouth. And I was like, what is this place? So now I go back every year, and it's been a lot of fun, man. Like, I haven't really run into those big bags. I've never cracked a 20 there, but like me and Miles went, and every day we were there, we probably caught 20, 30 fish, all smallmouth. We did catch a couple largemouth, but it was just a lot of fun throwing crankbaits and some stuff like that, man.
Oh, I forgot. Rodney's your arch football rival.
My arch football rival?
He's in the Navy.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. I'm sorry you didn't pick the right branch, but it's all good. It's all love. But yeah, man, no, you should definitely get a chance to go. It's fun in the spring too. I fished a tournament there in the spring in 2020, and me and my partner at the time, we weighed in 14.5 pounds in a Sunday local tournament, and we got dead last in like a 12-boat tournament. 14 pounds, dead last.
That's about how it is.
What the hell? Yeah, I was like, holy shit. And the lake's not big. It's like the size of Pretty Boy, so you can run it all weekend and not burn a tank of gas. Very, very cool place to fish.
We had a tournament. We had a TBF tournament on the flats this year. We had 12 teams. There were over half the field had 18 pounds or better.
Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy.
You're a Bears fan.
I think I think Tom Bavaro won. Him and Brian won with 23. Harry had 22. Harry Nurk. Me and Frank we had right at 20, like 19.99, something like that. And then there were like 2 or 3 18-pound bags, and then like 3 or 4 17-pound bags after that.
That's pretty awesome.
Fucking insane.
That's cool.
Just everybody smashed them.
Did
you know what?
Another big bag get caught at Anna that broke the 38-pounder?
No.
Wasn't there 40 pounds caught?
No. They were talking about that.
Yeah.
That was what you saw on Thomas's page.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about that 38-pound bag.
Yeah. Okay.
What's our prediction for the gunpowder this year? Do we think how do you guys think that's going to fit?
That's all right. I just saw Rodney's comment. He's also from Wisconsin, so he's a huge Packers fan.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I like the Packers. Only because the fans own the team. I think it's pretty cool.
You like the
I'm
Packers.
I'm optimistic for how the GP is going to fish this year. One, I don't know why, but I just feel like we've had a really cold winter. It's like it's been back in the day when I got into fishing and the gunpowder was fishing good. We had cold winters. We had ice. We had cold winters, and then it started to get warmer, and then we started to see a trend. Now we have another cold winter, so maybe this cold winter, I'm hoping it thaws. I don't know. I'm just hoping that
maybe all of the ice, water doesn't get stirred up as much during the winter with high winds and stuff like that.
Right.
Water's a little cleaner in the spring. Grass grows. Boom.
Yeah.
We got grass on the gunpowder.
It would be neat to see it.
We need to write that down right now because that could be a great observation.
Yeah, Matt, his buddy that he guides with was not in a tournament. Was out fun fishing and caught over 38 pounds.
That's insane.
We were down there at Anna when he did it, getting
updates.
Getting updates for every single fish.
So yeah, our buddy that we went to Lake Anna with was actually out. He went out fishing with SB Fishing the day that SB Fishing's buddy caught the 38-pound bag. So we were getting live updates and pictures all day.
Yes, he was.
Oh, hold on a minute. So Thomas, Rodney's comment says, wasn't Thomas just talking about that guy with NC big bags after a colder winter?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Interesting.
I do. I tend to believe that we have this good winter. We had a good ice over. The water temperature is cold. We're going to have a good thaw. And the bass fishing in the GP is going to be good this year.
Do we think...
It's pretty good last year.
Do we think
It's
that...
going to be better this year.
This might be a dumb question, but do we think that the ice will have...
The first year of no grass, like the first year, like 2 years ago when we had no grass,
I disagree.
Like, the first time, that was the best that the gunpowder has fished in since the fish kill.
I disagree.
Oh, you mean 23?
Yeah.
There was a lot... I caught a lot of fish.
I think a couple years before that it fished better.
I had multiple 25 to 40 fish a days in the canals.
I did catch a lot of fish in 23. Like like me and Buckland, when we were fishing in 23, it was crazy if we didn't have a limit by like 6:30. It was insane.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago it was crazy. And I don't know that it was that there were any more fish. I think the lack of grass just condensed them so much.
Yeah.
That like you could just catch a shit ton of fish.
I think a lot of the fish really moved last year. I think fish were in weird places, and the lack of grass just moved fish. I think like a lot of people didn't fish the Dundee area, and I think there was a lot of fish over there.
Yeah, it is getting some salty runoff right now.
Yeah,
which is fine. Like the salty runoff isn't that bad until as long as they're not getting salty runoff in like early May when they're spawning.
Yeah. The spawn this year for me in the gunpowder was the best it's ever been, but I also really fished it the way I should have fished it.
We're at about 244, 245 comments. Let's see if we can take this thing to 300 before we hop off here tonight. What kind of questions? Anything you guys got to talk about? Bring it up. Let's go.
But yeah,
Where?
I'm sure it was in Florida.
Oh my god. Yeah, we gotta go. He does that all the time.
Jim probably like, oh, a 4-pounder? Yeah. We're like, oh my god, a 4-pounder. Like,
Was that on the 5-inch, Jim? Yeah, we're going to Florida, dude.
Florida.
You know
would be
that,
a lot of fun.
I don't even care. Let's just pick a weekend and or a little bit longer than a weekend, but let's just pick a freaking weekend and go down. We'll just crash in Jim's basement or something.
It's Florida; they don't have basements.
It's true. We'll put your tent in the backyard and put a gator fence around it so that we don't get attacked at nighttime.
The gator fence is essential. The gator fence is absolutely essential. Rodney said Headwaters and Toho in a month. Toho's a fun place. Toho was fun.
Frank and Ron are heading down there next week.
Yep. I would like to go on that trip, but I can never find the time.
Oh, on a chatterbait.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, I want to talk about the new chatterbait that I bought a whole bunch of.
Oh,
they look nice.
Yeah, so I didn't bring them. I didn't think to bring them, but I did pick up a new chatterbait. I don't know how new it is. I think it's a new release this year. But Spro,
I've never seen them.
Spro just released a new chatterbait. It's called the Cover Jumper, and it is it's an interesting chatterbait. Like I just haven't talked about it. Or I haven't fished it because I just got them. I don't know anyone that's actually fished them.
A couple weeks ago, we did talk to Andy.
Trick Shad.
Matt.
But yeah,
Trick Shad's deadly, bro.
The way the blade design on it is, I feel like it's definitely a different vibration. It has softer edges, whereas the jackhammer and the thunder, not really the thunder.
It doesn't have that like pentagon shape. It's more of a flat top with round sides.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any chatterbaits on the market that have that blade design, and there's really not many.
It's shaped a lot like a lot of your custom chatterbaits, like your homemade chatterbaits.
Yeah.
Like that style blade.
I think it's going to be a less of a frequent thump, but I think it's going to be a heavier thump. I think it's going to be a more distinguished, like, but not as fast as like a jackhammer.
They look like a Picasso.
Just tie one on it. Yeah, Picasso does have that blade shape.
They look like a Picasso with that blade shape. But Picasso makes a nice chatterbait.
I do have another chatterbait that I bought about.
What kind of hooks do they use?
I don't know.
They use a Gamakatsu.
I do have another chatterbait that I bought. I bought about 15 of them. And I'm not talking about them yet. I might talk about them later, but I'm not talking about them.
You bought about 15 of what?
It's a new chatterbait that just hit the market this year. I'll talk to you guys about it after
mainstream or like small company?
It's not mainstream.
Oh, well,
it's main. Put it this way, it's mainstream, but if you can look it up and find it, good luck finding them in stock. That's what I'll say. So that should tell you that it's not from the United States.
Would you get some like Mini Max or some?
No, the Mini Max is awesome.
Look at Tony buying JDM shit.
Right? doesn't happen.
Mister, I'll never buy a jackhammer. To now I'm buying JDM chatterbaits.
Dude, I
Jim,
went.
Jim, I need to pick up I want to pick up a 9-inch and a 5-inch.
Chad, now I know why. He definitely got him on Temu.
No.
Oh, he probably did. He's saying no, but he's lying.
Nope. I won't. I don't even actually remember. I got them from Japan Fishing Tackle.
I'm very down, by the way, for the Temu videos. I think that would be fun.
Does it have a weed guard?
Huh?
Does it have a weed guard?
I won't confirm or deny that.
Like, that was easy.
But it's very Japanese.
What does that have to do with what we were just saying?
The blades don't fold down. I personally, I've caught a lot of fish on Picasso chatterbaits. I've never had a problem with the hookup ratio.
I just told you guys what it was in the group chat, so you guys will be able to see it. Paul, you were very close.
Yep.
It's confirmed.
It took me about 2 seconds to find
What is it?
Oh, sorry, I was scrolled down.
But good luck buying one. I had to search like 4 websites before I found it. It's like, damn, dude, this thing's hard to find. It looks pretty good though. It's probably no better than anything else, but it's something different.
I feel like Frank's had those for like 2 years.
Has he really?
But Frank also has like every piece of fishing tackle known to man.
But have you ever
most
really
of all
heard?
my JDM stuff is just.
Have you ever really
crank baits and jerk baits?
Have you ever really heard people talk about them though?
No.
That's why I bought it, because when I found it, I was like, I've never heard of this. I'm just gonna grab 10 of them and see what happens.
I'm proud of you. They're not cheap.
No, they're not. So did you? Well, you don't see it, but
I
you
can't
saw
believe
my.
you drop money on JDM bait you've never thrown and bought 15 of them, but you won't buy a fucking jackhammer.
Oh, did you see my snap? Wait a minute. Did you see my?
By the way, we found them for $10 a piece when we were down at Anna.
Did you see my Snapchat of my chatterbait box? 3/4 of it are either thunder crickets or jackhammers.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's insane.
But
Whoa.
just to release some juice, you need to understand that the thunder cricket has a different chatter than the freaking jackhammer. There's different spots to use the thunder cricket to the jackhammer.
We finally got Tony to spend money on this boat, and now he's spending money on everything.
And
Yeah,
what's
it's pretty bad,
and what's
actually.
a thunder cricket cost to a jackhammer? It's like $12 to $15.
$12.99.
12. I'm really curious to know the
11,
difference
something like
between the Evo and the jackhammer, because they look very, very comparable. They really do. I mean, the blade's a little different, but they look very comparable.
It's the head design of
Yes,
the blade. The
absolutely.
jackhammer's a specific head design.
Absolutely, Jim. Me and Jim were talking. We were talking yesterday or the day before about some chatterbait designs, and he's spot on right there. Is a lot of like your small company made have a split ring connection to the blade, and it doesn't allow it to hit the head, so you don't get that click noise because of the Z-Man patent.
Yep.
So unless you want to pay Z-Man royalties, you can't connect your blade like that.
That's why all the other I won't buy any other chatterbait because they suck, because you can't make them the same way that Z-Man makes it.
I don't know, man. For me, and I've said it before,
you can.
to me,
I feel
that
like that's a
thunder cricket
really
just
closed
outperforms.
market in a way. Like,
I will say the thunder.
okay, so what if
You can
why
make your
doesn't
own.
why doesn't somebody make a chatterbait where the blade just like clacks on the bottom and the string is at the top?
Oh, is the Z-Man patent's done? Because they definitely sued Queen Tackle last year.
Well, Evergreen is making a chatterbait now.
Evergreen has made a chatterbait for
Well,
us.
yes, but
Evergreen
it's their
Z-Man.
own chatterbait. I don't think it has a Z-Man name. I think it's their
Maybe
own
that's
chatterbait.
because that Z-Man patent running out.
Well,
I like-
Evergreen made the jackhammer.
I like
anyway.
Evergreen products. Evergreen makes good shit.
Yeah, the Evo. I feel like the Evo is.
Evo's decent.
We'll see, but I think it's very comparable to the jackhammer.
I caught quite a few fish on them last year.
I didn't really get to throw them as much as I would like to, because, like, for
I
me,
picked up a couple because I just had a couple jackhammers break, and
yeah,
I need a couple black and blue chatterbaits, and I could grab them real quick. And
right. I
Evo's
mean,
decent.
we'll see, but I think it's for me the Thunder Cricket really shines post or like pre and during the spawn, and then after that it's jackhammer. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the Thunder Cricket seems to be the deal in March, April, early June, or April, May, early June, and then after that it's jackhammer time.
the original jackhammer. I assume you mean. not the original chatterbait.
The jackhammer is freaking awesome, I will say. But I still caught more fish on the thunder cricket, but I throw it more because usually when that chatterbait bite really kind of dies a little bit in the summer, I start throwing other shit.
See, I don't necessarily catch more. Yeah, for real, Rodney.
Thunder cricket, I've never had that problem. Just saying.
Colin, thanks for watching, brother. Thanks for the like. Appreciate it.
So it's like certain types of. So if the matte colored paint that is on jackhammers, like on their green pumpkin blades, like doesn't come off. Black and blue, like you make 3 casts and it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've never really noticed a difference in like the time of year where I caught more on a thunder cricket than I did on a jackhammer.
Thanks for that like, Rob.
I mean, I throw jackhammers from like the beginning of March to the end of the end of November.
You can throw jackhammers all the time. I don't throw them in the winter, but
I will say I've never
spring through fall.
I have never had a thunder cricket paint wear off a blade in any color.
I have
not. Any color.
I look at it as a trophy almost. If I can take like a fully GP jackhammer and wear all the paint off the blade, I know I've thrown that thing for a long time and caught a lot of fish on it.
I have a Bee Height Delight jackhammer that I've had that's been in my box for 4 years, and it like there's no paint left on the head, but the paint's still on the blade.
Still catches them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's opposite for me. I have the paint still on the body, but all the paint on the blade is gone.
I mean, it's got chunks missing. It's got teeth marks through it, but like the head, there's almost no paint left on the head from the blade hitting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jackhammers year round.
Jackhammers
You can throw jackhammers year round down in Florida.
Oh, here's a question. What's your before we log off? What's your go-to weight for the chatterbait?
Depends.
I like the 3/8.
Depends on where I'm fishing.
I like to really fish it slow. I feel like the half is good, but I feel like the half really gets in grass hung up a little bit too much.
Depends on what and where I'm fishing.
Yeah.
And that I don't want to talk about this conversation.
The 1/4 ounce, I won't throw it. I'll tell you that right now.
You don't want to talk about the difference between throwing 3/8 and half?
Nope. I will not talk anymore about this.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna lie. I've bought more 3/8. Okay, we won't talk about it anymore.
You guys can talk about it. I'm just
For me, the 3/8 does better in grass that's over a foot tall because we're fishing 3 foot. So I can really slow it down.
It's situational to what I.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I do throw both.
Jim says men throw
or 3/4.
The half ounce, I've thrown it a decent amount, and for me, it's in the grass so much to the point where I feel like
they make
with the
a 3/4
3/8
ounce jackhammer
on an average cast
they make 1.25 ounces jackhammer.
Yeah, on an average cast with a 3/8 chatterbait. On a bomb cast, I maybe 3 or 4 times throughout that retrieve, I'm snapping it out of the grass. With a half ounce, it's double, triple the amount. Some days that's what they want.
I have a question.
But some days that's what they want.
Stupid question. Good question, actually. Never mind. Has anybody ever thrown the Ike's monster jig and caught fish on that shit? Like,
what is that? I don't even know what that is.
Dude, Ike has the Ike missile monster jig. It's like
it's a 10
dude, it's a massive, like 10 hook fucking jig.
It's a jig.
Yeah.
Like the jig's like this long.
Is it like a mop jig?
No. It's like a flipping jig with a 10-aught hook.
It's huge.
What's the point? Just like
it's a
big
I
ones?
don't know.
It's a
Big
big
jig,
jig.
big fish. Has anybody thrown that thing?
All I know
caught
is, did you
fish
see
on
that
it?
video that John Cruz did with it when he put that giant like custom?
Yeah,
That it did look sick.
it did. SB did. I'm sure he did it with his forward-facing sonar.
SB Fishing did apparently.
Wild.
That's crazy. Yeah,
that has to be like, dude, that's a freaking mission right there.
Yeah.
Put like a 7-inch Kitech on it and use it as a swim jig.
That's a huge profile. I mean, I'm not doubting that it works. It definitely would.
I would say that the guys at Susquehanna said that, outside of like bass, they were looking at it like this is going to be like this will be a good musky bait.
Yeah.
Right.
Running that like with like a 9-inch Kitech.
But I guess if you're going to like troll it with a 9-inch Kitech, but do you ever see anybody just like straight throw a jig for muskie?
Hair jigs.
They throw some pretty wild stuff for muskie.
They do. It's really weird, but like nobody ever just like dead sticks a jig.
Well, they
for,
weren't.
Like, muskie.
Yeah, they weren't talking about it that way. They were talking like using like a swim jig.
Yeah, exactly.
With like a 9-inch Kitech on it.
I have some of those.
That big a 9-inch Kitech itself weighs like 2 ounces. Those things are heavy.
She says, "I'm back."
And she brought company.
Oh, that means her son might be watching. Don't say anything bad.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, big soft plastics. Yeah, it's funny. There's some really unique baits out there. There's some unique chatterbaits that are out there. It's fun. Like I've tried a lot of chatterbaits over the last 4 or 5 years. Actually longer than that, like 6 or 7 years. I have yet to find.
That's not her son.
I have yet to find anyone that catches as many fish as a jackhammer. I mean, occasionally I catch them on, I'll catch them on a thunder cricket or something like that. But like, I can't find a chatterbait that works better or as good as a jackhammer.
No, I feel like as soon as you get through a quarter way through the rod turn, a turn of the baitcaster handle, it's clicking. It's just a very responsive bait compared to other chatterbaits.
But I've even found responsive baits, that are like start up instantly, and for some reason, like some of it could be confidence, right? Confidence plays a big role in fishing, and because if you don't have confidence in a bait, you're not going to fish it correctly. So that might have something to do with it.
If you don't have confidence in a bait, you're not going to throw it enough to figure out how to fish it correctly.
Or you're just not going to, like, even if it's a bait you know how to throw, if you don't have confidence in it, you're not going to fish it in the manner that you should because of your confidence.
It's like me learning how to throw those glide baits. When I first, you don't have confidence in that bait when you first start throwing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you got to throw it and figure out what works and then gain confidence in different baits.
Right. But it's a little different with a chatterbait, right? Because you know how to fish a chatterbait.
I mean, chatterbait, if you're into conventional fishing and you're not throwing a chatterbait, you're just wrong.
Well, I'm just saying, it's the different types, with it one being better than the other. Like,
but
it's funny because you have confidence because it's a chat.
Is the spinnerbait better than the chatterbait?
At times, yes. At times,
depends.
At times,
Conditions.
There is definitely different conditions, but the spinnerbait's making a comeback now.
Spinnerbait never stopped catching fish.
If I'm catching them,
but it lost hype.
If I'm catching them on a chatterbait and I got like 15, 16 pounds and I want a kicker, I'm throwing a spinnerbait.
How do I fly fish? That's the guy you need to talk to. I don't know nothing about that.
Nope.
Well, gentlemen,
come on, Jim. You catch a 10-pound. You catch a 10-pounder on a fly rod. That'd be sweet.
Yes. Well, guys, I don't want to cut out, but I got drill tomorrow, so
yeah, it is.
I got
it's about that time. We've been going about 2.5 hours now.
We're so close to 300 comments.
This is true.
Where are we? What are we?
282.
Oh, we can.
I need people to type in random gibberish.
Yeah, save Tony 10 minutes driving home.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's hard too. I feel like you could do it. There's some. I mean, I know of some flies that are very similar to big glide baits.
Jim, thanks for joining us, brother. We appreciate you as always. And I swear to you, we're just going to drive down to Florida one day and show up at your house and be like, we're here to fish.
I'm just going to show up at Headwaters and wait for you at the ramp.
We know where that is. Look, she's just typing random.
Pig fly, why not fish?
Random numbers.
Word.
I'm surprised it's not 222-444-333.
294. Come on, we need 6 more. Rodney said swim baits are. It didn't come through on Facebook yet. I can't see the whole thing. Can you scroll down, Rodney? What
swim
Rodney
baits are good.
Nice.
Swim baits are good. Swim baits are good.
Swim baits are good.
Fly fishing farm.
A fly fishing farm? How do you do that?
What about a fishing fly farm?
Fishing.
What?
Farm. We are at 300. We are at 300.
We did it.
Thank you.
We
We appreciate you guys.
You guys make our goals and our dreams come true.
We try.
And we love you.
So, well, hey, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We appreciate it. We had a good conversation. We got some big things coming. We really, really appreciate you guys joining us and engaging in the conversation. We got some cool interviews coming up. We got one that we haven't figured out scheduled yet, but it's going to be
It's okay,
a big
Jim.
one.
We have plenty of boats.
We got
Hell yeah.
we got Ardent Reels on the 28th. That's going to be a fun one. And then we got a bait company that we're working with right now. We're going to try to figure that out. But thanks to you guys for joining us. We appreciate it.
We're just going to put our boats in
Couple
your
of big
front
ones.
yard,
Yes.
Jim. Don't worry about it. The HOA can deal with it after we leave.
Yes.
Hey, I'm not in that HOA. It's not my problem.
Right.
All right,
right.
boys and girls. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll catch you guys next week on another episode.